Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV. Tonight on the program, the second annual running of the Shane Sollitt Memorial. Tonight we are here at Lanier National Speedway. Brett Wheeler joined by special guest commentator tonight, the voice of World Series Sprint Car, Mr. Benny Bishop. Benny, welcome back. Welcome to Ultimate Dirt TV for the first time in your sim career, and it's nice to have you back.
It's a bit scary when you start using terms like my sim career. Can I just make it very, very clear? My sim career remains on a microphone and it will never have a steering wheel, I would imagine. I've given this all a go before and just proved one thing. I have no driving talent whatsoever. So, yeah, lock it in, mate. I'm happy to stay here. And thanks so much for having me. And thanks to the whole Sollitt family for having me on board. And great to put in a second tribute to the man behind high performance videos in Shane Sollitt.
All right, qualifying on the program right now, 60 cars signed in. The question is going to be the first inaugural winner, Joel Berkeley. Can he go back to back? Well, we'll find out. He's on the track right now. So what kind of lap times these guys are doing right now. Trent Gosley has set the fastest time so far with a 5-minute practice session, 5% racetrack. Track's going to carry over all night, although the virtual grader may come out depending on how these drivers or how race control deem that the track is racing at the moment. Clint Smith on screen in car number 67, 35th quick. Jared Steen loves a tacky track, Steenie. We'll see how he goes as Aaron Hodgson rolling out. But tell you what, look at these names up near the top 10. Hayden Pascoe, Caden Brown, Mitchell G, Danny Vassell, Harley Smead just outside it. Jock Goodyear outside the top 10. There's a lot of real-world talent once again here to contest the second annual Shane Sollitt Memorial. There's also a lot of good sim drivers as well, Benny.
Yeah, I was having a chat actually with Tim Ryan today, and we were talking about the skills that you can carry over, the transferable skills, so to speak. And he said, look, at the end of the day, we're still talking about a steering wheel, a throttle and a brake, and there are certain people who are wired to do them with great sync, and there are some like me who can't. And so it really is going to be interesting to see the real-world drivers and how they go as we get ready to have a look at Jacob Dixon on screen, car number 3. Just getting it sideways into turn number 1. Great-looking little race car as well, and interesting to see how he takes the MG entry in tonight. Trent Gosley sitting at the top of the tree at the moment. Harry Stewart, Hayden Pascoe, Caden Brown, Callum Davidson, your top 5. Then it's Mitty G, Tyler Strato, Danny Vassell, Brad Pascoe, and Aaron Hatton round out your top 10. Interesting, like you said earlier, Harley Smee still outside of that top 10.
Yeah, these drivers only have 2 laps to get something done here as 58 cars have officially taken a lap time, and there's 1 second between 1.025. But Jacob Dixon 30th quick. So when you look at a second of dirt track racing, Benny, it can be not too big of a gap, but on a small track like this, it really can sort of widen up.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Yeah, we're talking about just over 600 metres in metric, 3/8 of a mile, but it probably metres-wise not that much smaller than Charlotte, but a lot tighter. You can see it with the overhead view, just how it's longer straights, tighter corners, nowhere near as sweeping as Charlotte is that we saw with the World E-Series sprint cars. And so, looks like numbers are up.
Yeah, so we've got 30 seconds left in the qualifying session. Tell you what, I'm actually looking forward to Sunday week, Benny, when we go back to the World E-Series sprint cars and we travel to Eldora. It'll be your 3rd virtual track in about 3 weeks. So you're going at 1 a week at the moment.
Yeah, I'm happy to keep the average there at the moment, if you don't mind. We very, very determined to actually get to Rossburg, Ohio, and see that place. They just say it's magnificent, and the racing that it puts on. In fact, Eldora was the very first racetrack that I ever saw on ABC TV when, out of nowhere, they just put on a Diamond P Sports run of World of Outlaws back in like 1984. And I just could not believe that place. It was magnificent. Time is up, though. Back here in the E-World, Trent Gosley's your man.
That he is. Heat race number 1. There'll be 6 heat races on the program, contested over 8 laps. And we'll take the top 3 from tonight's main event, put them directly into the A main. And we'll lock in 18 cars from heat races. Then we'll run 3 B mains, where we'll take the top 2 from those 2 from the 2 B mains, from the 3 B mains that we'll have and contest a 24-car field, 60 laps around Lanier National Speedway. It won't take all that long. Let's go trackside right now. Take a look. Heat race number 1 with your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid. Trent Gosley going to start on pole, and Tyler Strala going to line up out of position number 2.
Travis Castagna and Jamie Budgeon will take out that second row there. And I'm just trying to get my head around these the numbers up here as we go through row number 3. Brady Baldwin and Darren Parmenter.
Damien Butler will start position 7. Brendan Claridge out of position number 8.
And Alan Day and Trent Humphreys at the back of the bus, row number 5 in cars number 74 and 14 respectively. I love the way that they've got the tiered parking here at Lanier. That is really, really cool.
Similar, not so much similar, but you ever been to Nowra Speedway?
No. Well, yes, I have, actually. Yeah, I have. Yeah. Man, that was, back when the Speed Car Pro Series was on. So, yeah, the way it's tiered up the hill and everything, cool joint, actually.
Very cool joint. Raced, watched down there. The only thing I haven't done was get on the mic down there.
Oh, really? Cool. Looks like the pace truck is in action, ready to roll out for heat race number 1. Thanks to Ultimate Dirt TV. Great to have you on board tonight as we'll join in and look forward to a little bit of banter with you on Facebook as we're set to go. Gosley, your quick timer tonight, under fire from, a cast of stars. Keep your eyes too on Darren Parmenter just to see what he can do about tonight. Brendan Claridge too. Looking at those times, about 2 seconds off the pace. Still getting used to things. That won't be Brendan, though. I would say that would be Kinzer, his son, who's responsible for a lot of the liveries as well. Not too far away from rolling out for heat number 1.
All right, pace truck will move to the infield of the racetrack on the exit of turn number 4. And then, of course, 8 laps on the board. They cannot go until the iRacing green flag has been displayed for these drivers. Heat number 1, here we go, the Shane Sollitt Memorial. We are greeners, Gosley and Charlotte. Look at the 3 and 4 wide, Brady Bob on the 7 machine right up on the inside.
Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it? Now as we just park it down close, just a little bit reminiscent of Toowoomba Speedway here, High Tech Oil Speedway in Toowoomba, where you've got that infield wall. Totally changes the dynamic. There's contact.
In fact, we're going to go yellow now. I'm just trying to get us on a good camera, Benny, because I don't want it to be too far away, but don't want it to be too close. But it looks like that might have been Jamie Budgeon. I'm looking at Alan Day, in fact, in the 74 machine. We'll see if we can't pick up a replay to exactly what happened. In fact, just have to wait for this replay to show. There's the contact between Day and also Claridge, but there was also contact up into positions 3. It was, yeah. That
was interesting too. He got cut up in the top stuff, so he got going again, albeit waiting now for caution. So pace truck back, and hello to Marek Petrosky in Perth and Hayden Cardwell. Brett, sounds like you need some help.
I always need help. Hayden knows this.
He's got the daggers in already.
Yeah, it's a bit like he's driving. It's a bit like his driving style.
Ooh,
Look,
shot fired.
Heavy banter. It's almost like a love-hate relationship.
Yeah, I can only imagine. Here we go. Ready to restart. There's already contact. The right rear on the front left as now Gosley stays out. Is that going to be allowed? I don't think he changed his line too much, and still contact. Is the yellows going to come on again? Yeah,
Brady Baldwin there. It all started on that restart where Gosley just sort of tried to go up. Well, in fact, he didn't really change his line. Take another look at this one. But yeah, I don't think he changed his line. It was just a bit unfortunate for Brady there.
Just watch the way. Yeah, he's just got it sideways. I think Brady was just going to try and stay in touch with him, but little bit, definitely Brady just started to roll down. It'd be nice for him to be back behind the wheel after a pretty stressful couple of nights. When I say stressful, he handled them very, very well, but just the pressure of carrying that brand of World Series last weekend, it'd be nice for him to be able to relax and get back behind the wheel tonight, Brady Baldwin. So we regather. Yellow flag still flying here at Lanier in just near Atlanta, or about 50 miles, 80 Ks north of Atlanta. Have you ever been to Atlanta, Brett?
Benny, the furthest I've been, other than New Zealand when I was, I think about 18 or 19, the furthest I've been is probably either Archerfield or South Australia.
Okay. Well, back to the race, and it looks like Gosley's got this all to himself at the moment. He's going to come under fire here shortly as they go 3 wide in the battle for second. Down the back straight, Gosley very, very sideways as he squares up and ready to get the call. 8 laps. This is half distance at the moment. What's the issue over here? We've lost someone.
Yeah, Trent Humphrey's in the 14 machine on screen. I'll go back and take a look at the replay. Just, guys, getting a little too antsy. Generally, we don't normally see yellow flags in heat races here, Benny, but tonight, obviously, race control and admins opting to go with the yellow flags in the heat races. But what we would have seen, what viewers that normally tune into iRacing, what they see is if there's a yellow flag coming out, it generally takes away 3 laps of the total number of laps. But now with the caution laps not counting again, they've obviously chosen to tick that box when making the service. So now caution laps won't actually count. So we can try and get the full 8 laps in.
Yeah, that'll be good. I know that there is the possibility of issues when you employ this part of iRacing, but I'd rather it than have to do our own math, which was letting you and I down the other night. Here we go. Single file restart. Back in the hands of Gosley, Castagna, Butler. The pressure on now as this is a very different restart to what we've seen in the past. They spread out nice and evenly down the back straight as Gosley still in control. Castagna goes up high now. Butler looks down on the inside, tries to make a little bit of a dent in that second, but not good enough as he rolls off too much speed. How good is Castagna through the middle? Nice and predictable, nice and smooth. Going to be very, very tough for Butler to take car number 20 past him.
And I'll tell you what, Butler doesn't see too many A mains, and that's not a jab at him. He's a teammate of mine, so I can give him a bit of grief every now and then. But tell you what, he'd love to lock into the main event. He has to be in the top 3, and that's where he sits right now. 1 lap left to go, Benny, for Trent Gosley.
Alan Day just outside of that. No, actually make that Strello. In car number 34, Jamie Budgeon. Brandon Claridge down the order as well. We call that Kinzer Claridge. But as we go back and have a look at the start, man, this is great for Gosley. We expected that he would be quick and hard to beat, and he gets the win. Gosley over Castagna, Butler. There's the 3 that get straight into the show. Then it's back to Strello, Budgeon. Claridge steps up into 6. That's not too bad considering he started, I think, on the back row. And that rounds out heat number 1. We move over to heat number 2.
That indeed we do. Heat number 2. Cars making their way onto the racetrack right now, behind the iRacing.com page track. Benny, I'll tell you what, I'll take this one because last Sunday night, I was doing all the grids. So, you know what? I'm going to throw it back to you this time. You can see the grids.
All right. It's nice to do it, isn't it? Let's have a look at the front row. It's Harry Stewart, who has been raised in a family where there is a lot of time spent in these sort of frames. Danny Vassell alongside him. Let's go back to the Tasmanian 18-year-old and Jock Goodyear in car number 31 in position 3. Clint Shane Smith on his outside in the 67 car. Then it's Mark Holt and Damon Mush, Lance Bainton and Declan Brownsy. Great to have the Queenslander and very, very clever photographer on the line for the second last row. And then Elliot Osborne and Jaden Iacono from out in Western Queensland. Do we call Toowoomba Western Queensland? I know in airport terms they do, where they call it Brisbane West is the airport in Brisbane. Wouldn't you be annoyed if you were a tourist, didn't know the lay of the land, and you said, oh, I can't get into Brisbane Airport, but I can get into Brisbane West, not knowing that there's probably no buses, no contact, and it's out in the middle of the field. I know that it'll build up over time, but it is a bit of a stretch calling it Brisbane West Airport.
Yeah, that's actually baffled me, and I live in Australia.
It's strange, man. Very, very strange. But when we were running High Tech Oil Speedway, man, that was so handy. Some of our staff would fly in there. A lot of racers would fly straight in there in 10 minutes from the racetrack. Let's go back to where we are here for heat number 2, the Shane Sollitt Memorial. The second year running, pace car about to retire. Great and unique way they do it inside the infield wall as he peels off out of turn number 4. Can Harry Stewart hold on to that first spot just like we saw Trent Gosley do? He's about to drop the hammer as it's 3 wide into turn 1. Make that 4.
Yeah, good start by Stewart and Vassal. Now side by side with Goodyear. Here comes Smith on the outside. Look at him, 3 deep and selling cheap already down through turn 3 and 4.
Goodyear straight up to third. Impressive stuff. Declan Brownsy from the back of the bus. Not too shabby there as they are in a massive, massive battle to try to get to the top 3. There's contact in the midfield. Someone's over on the top. Smith has rolled over in car number 67. That is disappointing. Sliding down on the big banks. Have a look at the way that played out. Keep your eyes on cover that red top. Just squares up, backs it into turn 1. He's at 4th at that point. About to get swallowed up. 5th, 6th, and then contact and a heavy hit in the back straight.
I think the contact was from the 57 there of Elliot Osborne. And if that's the case, and it looks like on timing and scoring, he's actually going back. So there's a very good chance that he'll get penalised for that. But you know, when you got these cars on such a tight racetrack and very tacky racetrack at the moment, sometimes contact is sort of inevitable.
Yeah, 100%, and that's no different to any sort of racing really when it's going to be grippy like this. But I've just was watching. So the 57 car just looks a bit dark on my screen here, but the 57 car was the one on the bottom that pushed up and then made contact with the next one and then the next one. So it was a domino effect, yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, reforming, ready to go again as we look at the only a quarter of the race distance. 2 laps down out of 8. Stewart and Vassal about to fire away. Goodyear just looking in as well as he treads straight up into second. Squares up and puts the foot down on the exit out of 2. It's a great exit 2 for Goodyear. Looking the goods. Now under fire. Vassal takes over. Slide job on the inside as Goodyear has to take the foot off the gas just a little bit to try and maintain some form of momentum. In the meantime, Stewart leads as they head down the back straight.
Wow, look at this battle for 4th on back. 4th through to about 9th position. You can almost throw a blanket over him right now as Lance Payton. I think he might have caught the inside wall, but watching Jaden Iacono, he started dead last position, number 10. He's up to position 5, so already picking up 5 positions here in heat race number 2. We'll have 3 to go this time by as Harry Stewart continues to lead the race.
Yeah, very nicely too. And just the second car also of Vassal just takes a similar line there, but Goodyear deciding to go just a little bit higher. Going through 3 and 4, he's down low. In fact, he goes lower than Vassal, trying to find something different. A little bit more grip here in Georgia as we head back down the back straight again. Lap number 7, running out of time. There's your top 3. They're the ones that are going to be locked in. Pressure on. Is there anything that Jaden Iacono can do coming from the back of the bus? I think he's nearly out of time. Holt tries as well to get up into 4th. Mush, Osborne, back to Bainton. And Iacono somehow in that whole thing went from 4th to 8th very quickly. I'm not sure if there was a glitch. We're about to pull out the flags, ready to call it. Is that checkers? It is. Harry Stewart gets the win. Vassal, Goodyear locked in. Then it's back to Holt, Mush, Osborne, Bainton, Iacono, Declan Brownsy disappointing back in 9th there. And Clint Smith, after that big contact down the back straight, obviously sustained a fair bit of damage and struggled to get car number 67 any closer to the front.
All right, well, heat race number 3. Cars making their way onto the racetrack right now. We'll take a look here at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid.
How good is this teaming up on the front row? Hayden Pascoe and Brad Pascoe in positions number 1 and 2. Lockie Beattie and Aaron Hodgson. Is that Aaron Hodgson? Oh, okay, I'm going to keep my eyes on Aaron Hodgson if it's the guy that I think it is. It's Brendan Palmer there, the guy who knows how to pedal one of these things in the real world. Casey O'Connell, not too shabby either. Man, this is stacked. Bradley Oldfield, Russell Bonzi. Now, is that Russell or is that daughter using Dad's account? Gavin Sadler and Jamie Hall will be on road number 5. 60 cars limited, and apparently Brett Wheeler, a few missed out in the cut for this one.
Yeah, well, registration's obviously cut early, but again, a 60-car field. We'll take a look. I'm just going to go on board here with Brendan Palmer because I was told that he's got a nice couple of. Let's go to the cockpit view. Oh, there you go. Would you bet you 50?
What's that on?
Have a look on the screen, just on the.
Oh, yep, up on the top under his name board. There it is, bet you 50 cash. Not too shabby. Man, it's a great view on board with Brendan Palmer, a former club champion, I do believe. It's speed cars, as they're called in here in Queensland, as we go up on the top side, the fluffy stuff there in row 3. Drop the hammer. Pascoe and Pascoe. Who's going to win into turn 1?
I reckon a Pascoe's going to come out in front here out of turn number 2. Which one? Well, flip a coin, but it's going to be Hayden Pascoe, the Formula 500 racer. I believe he lives down in Canberra. Am I correct in that one, I think?
That's yet beyond me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, look, you should know again. I should know. I'm a teammate of his, but I'll tell you what, Brad Pascoe doing a good job. Brendan Palmer and Aaron Hodgson. Hodgson, who I think is a Kiwi at the moment. So a couple of 41s doing battle right now. As Palmer up on the inside. That's the orange machine. I'll tell you what, I bet you 50 that he's going to lay it all on the table.
Yeah, 100%. So Hayden Pascoe leads Brad Pascoe. How good is the battle for second at the moment? Trying to make it into this bubble of 3. Top side is where there is some extra momentum. Look at the way that Aaron Hodgson steps it up. Car number 38 really hunting down the tail tank of the 45 of Hayden Pascoe. Flips up on the top side. It worked for him last time around, and maybe it works for him again as he does pick up some momentum into turn 1. Gets him within striking distance of Pascoe, and he's going to be absolutely under threat as they come into turn 1. Just puts the nose in, and look at this huge slider coming in from Brendan Palmer to sit in third. There was contact for somebody out of that field there. I'm not sure who it was who lost all that momentum.
Was Brad Pascoe the driver on the end of that? I'm not going to call it a right. Well, do you want to call this a right rear, Benny? Because he was going for the slider. Now, this is the last time that I've seen Brendan Palmer actually race here on iRacing. He actually fed someone a right rear for the win. But yeah, okay. But he didn't actually get credited with the win. So it was.
Oh. Gee, I mean, from our view there, that didn't even look like there was contact. So obviously was, because he made an abrupt turn.
Okay. So the terminology here is what we call it here on the sim is net code.
Net code. Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, where the simulator thinks you're going to be on your screen, and where the other driver is on their screen, where the game thought Brendan Palmer was. So whether there can be a terrible amount of net code, and I've seen it a number of times, and it's not something that we can sort of shy away from. It's a part of what we do online.
Yep. And you know what? While we have that in the online world, there's things that we don't have in the online world that happen in the real world that are just bad luck as well. And so you just take it. It's split the evens, really. As we go back into green flag conditions, lap number 5 of 8, Hayden Pascoe continues to lead. Hodgson, remember, he had some good momentum in those 3 laps prior to the caution. He's looking very, very good. Brendan Palmer really throwing caution to the wind. He's going to bet you 50. He'll make it into the top 3 at the moment, but he's got 2 cars right on his tail, Hall and O'Connell, who want to make a difference there. Sliding all over Lanier. Man, who's going to make it into the top 3? Palmer under fire. Hall, O'Connell up. Sadler on the scene. Where did that come from? Gavin Sadler in car number 71 sits into 4th there. Oldfield wants a piece of this as well. Brendan Palmer regains the spot as we're coming into that final turn. Is there going to be a change in the top 3?
I'll bet you 50 there is. I'll bet you 50. Palmer missed out.
Look at that. Pascoe, Hodgson, Oldfield, Palmer, Sadler, Beatty, Pascoe again, Brad, the Brad variety, O'Connell, Bonzi, and Hall. So Hayden Pascoe, while all that was happening behind him, no issue, man. But how much 3rd spot would have changed a dozen times in that race easily.
100%. It was just that was a phenomenal race. I tell you what, Bradley Holdfield, he was a man on a mission, especially in those last, I think it was 2.5, 3 laps. So what also these drivers have, they also have an opportunity not only to obviously win some prize money here tonight, but each heat race winner, Benny, has the opportunity for an extra $25 if they can win to come from the back of the bus. Now, I guarantee you, if Joel Berkeley takes this challenge, if he can win his heat race, he's up in this heat race now. I'll even bet you. I'll bet you 150 says he takes that challenge.
Really? Okay,
yeah,
that's cool.
He loves to come from the back, Berkeley.
Well, that's really, really cool. Actually, I just love to see what he does. I reckon you're right. It's gives you that little bit of an extra option, doesn't it? Just to put it on the line, a couple of dollars here and there. We can confirm from Christy Bonzi that it is Russell from Russell's Race Engines, who's one of the sponsors tonight, who is actually in the driver's seat for that car. So great to have Russ on board. Let's go through your grid. Caden Brown and Aaron Hatton on the front row. Carl Hoffman's car number 33 in 3. And Alan Sollitt, the son of the great man that we honour here tonight for the second time on his outside. Berkeley, who we were just talking about. Oh, man. Keep your eyes on car number 9 out of position number 5. Matt Reed out of position number 6. Then Michael Budgeon and Troy Ware. Great to have T-Dub here in the virtual world. We're about to pull the trigger here. Sean Rosa and Emma O'Neill at the back as the sun well and truly goes down here at Lanier. We are 3 wide into turn 1.
Have a look how it is. It was Berkeley straight up on the inside, 3 wide out of turn number 2. Hoffman's on the outside. Here comes Hatton, 3 wide for the race lead, but Caden Brown going to have the race lead out of turn number 4. He will lead lap number 1. He's going to be very difficult to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll look at the top side, the way that he gets that drive out of turn 1. Caden Brown, a former national champion who's had a stellar run in the USA, even at the Chili Bowl. He's impressed so many people and constantly in the news for having, I guess, a surname that everyone's familiar with the first name. Not so when it comes to USA. Everyone over there knows about the brown dog, Mark Brown. But here comes the pup, and he is leading here in heat number 3 tonight. He's looking very, very good. Right up in front of Aaron Hatton, then back to Carl Hoffman. He's done well. Joel Berkeley looking the goods as well. As we go through that final order, Troy Ware, Emma O'Neill there at the back of the bus. Caden Brown leads. Aaron Hatton, Carl Hoffman's 3rd.
Yeah, good battle right now. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th on screen. Berkeley tagging the wall with the right rear. Here goes Alan Solid up on the inside. That's for 4th and 5th position. That's not for a main event spot. That's for a better starting spot in tonight's B mains. We'll have 3 of those B mains, in fact, where we'll take the top 2. But I'll tell you what, Caden Brown, if he can continue on with 2.5 to go, he'll have an opportunity to go to the back of the bus and potentially win an extra $25 if he wins.
He is really not changing his line at all. He's just staying consistent, just under the cushion. Just about half a car width off the cushion now as Aaron Hatton is throwing everything at him. He's half a second behind according to the computer. Carl Hoffman's watches up on the top side of the cushion. He wants to be careful up there in the fluffy stuff as we come into final couple of laps. Is it an extra lap?
We're going yellow, Benny.
Yellow. They just kept the foot into it.
Yeah, they tend to do that. We and I'm going to say we, as in iRaces, we love to do that. When the yellow flag comes out, no matter if you're in turns 1 or 2 or 3 and 4, if you're going down into the final couple of turns, drivers will purposely stay on the gas just so they can finish their lap time, and then obviously they can compare to see what kind of lap time they're doing. If they're running a different line, that's an indication of, yeah, you find out if your car's fast or, if you've got to change your line, throughout the next couple of laps. But if you're into 1 and 2, depending on where you are, again, where the pace truck comes out, you'll see drivers sort of get off the gas straight away. It's totally different to, having someone in race control saying, yellow flag, back it down, and just backing off the gas straight away.
Yeah, exactly right. So they go back up into single file formation. Great to have a good mate of mine back over in Western Australia. Never a glazed look on Scotty Glazebrook. He, the 2-time West Australian champion, 3 times, I think, maybe five times on the podium as well. They launch again. Caden Brown is away. The temporary fence high entry looking the goods up on the top side, but it is absolutely throw caution to the wind down on the bottom. Look at Hoffman's. How impressive was that as he takes the shorter route, but he's lost the momentum. Maybe it's not going to be enough to get him out of turn 4. It is. Man, he holds his line beautifully. That's great too. Berkeley almost in there. Joel Berkeley steps back up into 3rd. Hoffman's under fire. Troy Ware, Sean Rosa and Michael Budgeon are going to round out the 8, 9 and 10, but Aaron Hatton back into 4th just when he was in the spot to make it through, and he misses out. Brown, Hoffman's, Berkeley, there's contact after the flag, and Sollitt steps up. Reed, O'Neill, Troy Ware, Budgeon, Rosa and Hatton goes to the back of the bus.
Well, Berkeley's going to come from the back anyway, so what's that? Was that heat 3, I think that was. Sorry, just trying to do quick math on the fly. I think that'll put him out of 15 in tonight's main event.
Troy Jenkins is asking the question, how many tear-offs do you use in iRacing?
Unlimited.
Unlimited, but nice to hear a question from young Troy, who hasn't got very much experience in speed car / midget racing. TJ, good to have you on board, mate. Good to have you watching in. A big hello to you wherever you are watching in from around the world here as we look at the grid. Callum Davidson, Harley Smee will be off the first row. Graham Smythe, Jared Steen on row number 2 in cars number 24 and 91, respectively. Then we go back to Jared Ash, Mr. Ash Media, alongside a very proficient basketball player and son of Oval Express owners. That's Dale Jordison in car number 27, Andrew Parks and Nathan Mathers, not to be confused with Marshall Mathers, and then Jaden Mathers right at the back in position number 9. 9 cars in heat number 4 tonight, ready to roll around, well and truly dark, as the sun has gone down here in Georgia. A big welcome to you. We're about to run them for 8 laps and see who can go in to the main dance for later on. Some extra contingency prizes up for grabs tonight. We'll go through with you if you haven't caught up from them. Hi from Alaska, Jeremy Schuler. Great to have you on board, buddy. And Brendan Palmer, he's got some advice for Troy Jenkins. Said, yeah, heaps, because they ain't $1 each. So expensive, isn't it, Brendan? $1 for a piece of plastic.
Yeah, just to rip off your helmet, just so you could see the next sort of 25 meters in front of you or whatever it was.
Yeah, exactly right. We're about to pull the trigger, and it looked like such a slow momentum start as we're hugging down the bottom for Callum Davidson. He's about to get rounded up by Harley Smee. Not too much speed down on the bottom side. Smee up at the top. Man, he's going to make contact. Surely he just stays off the fence. Davidson looking good. Smee very, very straight. Jordison staying out of trouble in third at the moment. Then it's Smythe and Steen. That's your top 5 is Smee under fire from Callum Davidson. Just takes a slide on him. Not even close to contact. Beautiful drive as he gets up into the fluffy stuff on the top side. And now Davidson again has to be relegated to second. Tries to return serve. The switchback works for Davidson. He gets down underneath Smee as Smee slowly just pulls it hard left to try and get down low. And he was thinking about turn number 1 when he was coming into turn number 3.
How do you watch this? You got a slide job. You got sliders being thrown left, right, and centre here for the front 2, and then you had 3 cars battling it out for the final transfer spot. They were 3 wide multiple times throughout this heat race, and we're only 4 laps in. We've still got 4 to go. Callum Davidson will lead by about a car length down into turn number 3, but you know Smee, here he comes. Big slider down into turn number 3 and 4. There's still 3 wide behind him. Oh, Betty, this is one of the heat races of the night.
Yeah, 100% heat of the night. Davidson is so comfortable down low and then swings up high and he's exit out of 2. And that's really, really good to watch. Whereas Harley Smee, I don't know what nomination fee he's paid, but he's using all of his track and getting his value and money's worth tonight. Goes down low and does exactly what Davidson did before, but has to just roll off the gas a little. Lets Davidson through, man. This strategy has worked beautifully for Callum Davidson. Car number 17 has 1 more rotation to go. And Harley Smee's got to try something to get up in front of him. What's it going to mean? Well, it means he's a row further forward when it comes to the big dance later on. He's almost out of contact. It's going to be a 3 Hail Marys this one, but it's not enough. Callum Davidson holds on, gets the win over Smee, then Jared Steen. Dale Jordison, magnificent, and stays out of trouble to hold on to 4th. Unfortunately, out of that top 3. Good job for Steen to make it into the show.
What a race that was. In fact, I apologise, but I told you that was heat 4. That was actually heat 5. So we're actually on to our final heat race now, yeah.
See,
this
now,
is
I
heat
led you
6.
astray there because I actually did say, it's heat 3. So I don't know what's going on, mate. We're losing the plot here.
Yeah, turns out we can't count anyway, so...
Hey, I'm a drummer. I go to 4, and I still didn't even get that right. So there you go. This is stacked as well. Let's have a look at this. Mitty G was the 5th quickest qualifier, and so therefore he starts off. Because see, that's the whole point. So that's right there. This is heat 6, right? 6th quickest qualifier. He's alongside Kobe Dent, Callan Arthur, and Dylan Byrne, populating row number 2. Then it's Jacob Dixon, car number 3. Simon Bestman on his out. So good to see Simon on the iRacing and away from the camera. Then it's Adam Lind and Mark Farmer. How cool to have Mark Farmer on board as well. Paul Rooks, man, he's done some laps. PR sitting in position number 9 as we round out the field. Obviously must have been a few no-shows. Is that how it rolls? To have 9 cars, I think that ends up with 58 total entries.
Sounds right, yeah. So a couple of no-shows.
Yeah, okay. And there's people out there who go, what? I really wanted to race in this, and somebody decided that while in solitary confinement in their lounge room, they decided they wanted to watch the concert on TV instead of go iRacing. They could have given up that spot to me. Let's have a look at the way Mitchell G holds on in car number 21. A little bit of a link between that and one of his old race teams. That was their World of Outlaws team number when that Titan garages were over in the World of Outlaws with Darren Pittman. Here we go. G, Arthur and Dixon straight away steps up into third, tries the low side. Nice work for the 27 car. Mitchell G, beg your pardon, looking good as he just settles in. Not even close to contact. Now Arthur tries to fire back. Does it? G, this is big. Was there contact there? I think there was. And it continues. Oh, stuck up on the top side.
Have a look. It's just come through up on the bottom side. 3 wide right now. Dylan Byrne. Oh, look out your waist. Leaders hopping around. Oh, boy. Here it is all happening. Hey, remember how it's...
Inherits. That's the way to inherit it. As the flag goes yellow, we see 2 incidents in 2 corners as the pace car about to come and rejoin here at Lanier.
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to get to it. Ready? Watch it jump the fence.
Oh, really? The pace car?
Now it's going to make a liar out of me.
I was going to go out the gap, as you do.
Absolute made a liar out of me.
I reckon I could do the virtual pace car driving. I reckon that'd be me.
You can actually do it in servers that are being run manually. So obviously, yeah, this is a heat racing format. So there's no what am I looking for here? The words are absolutely just walking away from me at the moment. There's no real downtime during the heat races. They all just roll over very, very quickly. Kind of like what we've seen on last Sunday night with, World E-Series sprint cars. The heats just kept rolling. It was done within sort of an hour and a half. And that's what you can have with the iRacing heat formats. As Pace Truck has gone back in, surely we're not going green.
No, it was not a good format. Oh, there he is.
I don't lie after all. Thank you, Pace Truck.
The Bridgestone Holden Precision Driving team just put the GMC truck up on 2 wheels there. That used to be the highlight of my year, going to the Royal Show and watching the Precision Driving team. What are they now? The Isuzu Utes.
The last time that I went to the show, I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago. And yes, I think they were the Isuzu Utes. So, but they still done their same old tricks that they did. And yeah, it was pretty cool seeing them.
Still be good fun to be a passenger, I can tell you that. Callan Arthur is the man who leads us at the moment. Jacob Dixon back to Kobe Dent, who did inherit the lead there until they dropped the yellow flags. Dylan Byrne, then Bestman sits in 5th. Bit of a change. Mitchell G's got a lot of work to do to come from the back of the bus now after that incident as they beautifully fantail out in the turn to number 1. Arthur is leading Dixon back to Dent. And that's your top 3 at the moment. I'm wondering if it's going to come under fire. We're right on half race distance as now there is a battle for the lead. Look at the way Dixon just plaguing the back of Arthur at the moment, trying to switch him around. Is he going to go down the bottom? Man, they are absolutely right close to it. And they've opened up the door as well for Dent. Dent tries to go down low, tries to take over, and he does it. How impressive is that from Kobe Dent? Absolutely deserves that lead. It's under fire again from Arthur. Arthur goes the middle and just avoids contact with Dent. He deserves to stay at the front. He does that. There is only a handful of laps remaining. Dent, Arthur, and Dixon.
Yeah, a lap and a half to run right now for Kobe Dent. These 3 drivers on screen. Dent, Arthur, and Dixon all looking to put their ticket into the main event. Look out, Dixon. Dylan Byrne now going to be elevated up to position 3 just as they were coming to greet the white. The yellow flag comes out. We'll see if the pace truck does it again. Because, look, again, it's waiting. It's going to make a liar. Whatever. You sent it the first time, right? I'm not making things up.
Look, the most impressive thing is when it drives through the field. And we all
yeah, we seen that last week too.
I see the ambulance has got the flashing lights on because that's a concern.
Yes. Yeah. Well, see, no, it does. And the tow truck in the middle. I'm not sure if you call it that one or not. Ready? What's the tow truck in the middle coming into screen now? There it is, in the center of the screen. Not actually.
You set the flashing lights as well.
Yeah, pretty sure it's a tow truck.
Nice that they're all such in sync. Kobe Dent leads. Callan Arthur, then Dylan Byrne, Paul Rooks, Mitchell G. And so G's made his way up from the back up to 5th. So keep your eyes on him because maybe if we're going green, white, checker, then that means that there may be enough time for Mitty G to step it up here. Doesn't want to pass anyone on the start. Doesn't want to do anything wrong. Who is our chief steward tonight, by the way?
Alan Tacken.
Oh, good to have Alan on board.
Chief steward of Midgets Super League on Wednesday nights as well.
Uh-huh. All right, they're all up on the top side, up in the fluffy stuff too, just where the lights go a little bit dark for us. This is a great start from Kobe Dent. Arthur tries to keep in touch. Dylan Byrne as well. Paul Rooks. Mitchell G straight up to 5th. So he's looking good at the moment. Can he make it into the top 3 after he was battling for the lead at the start of the race? Now coming into the final lap, bring us home.
Wow, there's some big moves there by Jacob Dixon on Mitchell G, putting about 2 or 3 cars into a slide job, sitting down into 1 and 2, but it is Kobe Dent. He'll make his way into turn number 3, out of turn number 4. Checkered flag is out. Top 3, Kobe Dent, Callan Arthur, and Dylan Byrne going to make the show. 4th is going to be Paul Rooks, Mitchell G, Jacob Dixon. 4th, 5th, and 6th, Simon Bestman, Adam Lind, and Mark Farmer in position number 9. So heat races completed. All 6 are done. We move into the first of 3 10-lap B mains, where only the top 2 are going to make it through. Yeah,
so this 24-car field for your A, for your main event, and so 6 spots are yet to be filled. So B main number 1, it's going to be Tyler Strallo, Alan Sollitt on the front row, Jamie Budgeon, and Matt Reed. You have to forgive me for saying Bugden earlier, because when I was growing up as a kid in Bundaberg, there was a guy who had a limited sprint car, I think they were called. They had just like 6-cylinder straight 6s, and his surname was Bugden. So when I see that, I'm just my thinking is all over the place. Brendan Claridge and Emma O'Neill are going to be on positions 5 and 6. Then row 4 is Trent Humphreys and Michael Budgeon. Car number 92, rounding it out, Alan Day, Sean Rosa. Then it's Darren Parmenter and Troy Ware, who's not really had the best night. T-Dub and Brady Baldwin right at the back of the bus after that big contact earlier. Car number 7 out of position. Number 13, we only take 2. We're about to see who's going to make it into the show. So these guys will sit where in the A main grid?
19 and 22.
Right. Okay. Yep. So we zigzag. I see what you mean. Yep. I get it. Righto, here we go. We're about to drop the flag on this. Can Alan Sollitt make it into his dad's own show? He's put in a big effort to pull this show together. He's about to take it from the outside of the front row, and he's already under fire. Can Sollitt hold on? He's almost straight back to 4th. Strallo's good. So is Reed. Then it's Budgeon, Parmenter, and Claridge right at the back of the bus at the moment. Sollitt back into 3rd. Little bit of work to do, flicking up onto the top side. Let's go down to the bottom where there still seems to be a little bit of grip at this time of the night, and sliding up at the top, Strallo looking the goods.
Yeah, Jamie Budgeon there, back there in 2nd, run on the bottom side, that HMR number 90 machine. Solid working upstairs, right up on the cushion. Yellow flag is out. Benny, I'll tell you what, can't wait to talk to our 6 heat winners after the B mains. We'll chat to them during the warm-up session. There'll be a 20-minute warm-up session where basically race control is going to observe the track, what they think it's going to do, whether they think it's going to go to one line, or whether they'll get the virtual grader out. They tear it up just a bit to where it's going to be pretty much, as Ryan Harris would say, it'll be cherry ripe for the main event.
Yeah, I think Ryan Harris is cherry ripe, and Racetrack as Andy is one of his favourites as well. I had a big chat with Ryan Harris today. Good news for Speedway Sedans Australia, who are working frenetically to reorganise 3 of the national titles that they missed out on this year. Of course, the Super Sedan title and the Junior Sedan title got decided for 2019-2020 season, but then productions, modifieds, and street stocks missed out on theirs, and so they've had to reschedule them. So that means there's going to be 8 national titles next season in one season. It is going to be a full-on affair for those guys, but great to have Canberra back on the calendar. Did you know about that?
No, I did not.
It's massive news, isn't it? Massive news. So we'll give you more information about that, but we're about to launch for 10 laps. This is B-Main number 1 with Strallo. Solid already back up into 2nd. Budgeon putting the pressure on. Strallo holds on out the front. Look at the 3-wide battle for 3rd at the moment. And let's get the foot off the gas.
That was Brady Baldwin again. He's had a night he would want to forget about. Just trying to go back and take a look at the replay. I think he might have turned in a little too early. Car was definitely on his inside. It can happen so quick in these little small machines. I mean, what I mean, the 40 machine of Troy Ware.
Man, he pulled the helicopter too, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, we give him a nickname, Brady Baldwin, on here. We call him the Showstopper.
The showstopper.
A bit of tongue-in-cheek about that one.
Yeah, it may be about an event that I was involved with as well. But there is another racer who does have that nickname in the sprint car world, in the Q59, the John Titman Racing RHK entry of Kevin Titman as the showstopper, because Toowoomba had long waited for a World Series Sprint Cars round. They'd waited 6 years in between, and then it was tough. It was under threat from weather, and then we got to the B main. We thought we're going to get the A in and put something in the history books, and then your mate Kevy Titman tore the fence down trying to go around the outside of Dave Well and finish the night. He's a showstopper himself. Let's go back to the B main. 3 laps down. We're on to lap 4 of 10 now. Tyler Strallo, Alan Sollitt, so desperately fighting to be a part of his dad's race tonight. He sits in second. He's under fire from Reed. Reed takes over the spot there and gets into that transfer. Solid returns serve and gets back, and then there is a massive battle down below.
Yeah, Reed's getting some good drive there on the bottom of the turns 1 and 2, and also down in 3 and 4. Just a little tight, and you can see those front wheels all the way pointed to the left, and that's what we mean about tight. But right now, he'll go into 1 and 2. Solid in the middle of the racetrack. Reed, very good through 1 and 2. He just needs to get his 3 and 4 sorted out. Maybe enough to try a different line just to keep that car rotating. Left front door into the inside concrete. And Matt Reed going to lose second spot. Now under pressure right now by Emma O'Neill and Jamie Budgeon.
Oh, man, massive. And there is contact there as well. Is this going to bring on the flags, or will they continue on? There's incidents and accidents, hints and allegations. It sounds a whole lot like a Paul Simon song, as Tyler Strallo still leads. Alan Sollitt is where everyone emotionally wants him to be. He deserves to be in his dad's race. He's doing everything right. Like you said earlier, he's just got to get 3 and 4 sorted out just so that he can hold on to that spot. But he's looking the goods now. We're coming into the final handful of laps. Can Sollitt hold on and make the show?
Yeah, well, this is what he did last year as well in the race. He was running, I think, about 5th or 6th in the B main, and then a little bit of stroke of luck, as we'll call. He actually ended up getting into the show by finishing second or third in last year's B main as well. So, but he's now going to have a nervous wait ahead of him, because we go yellow, and means we are going to have a green-white checker. Look, if I'm everybody else, if I'm the guy in 3rd spot, knowing that it's this guy's dad's race, I'm just sitting back, just holding up and holding everybody else. You know, you want him in the show.
You want him in the show, and he does. If you're in 3rd at the moment, you're probably going to lose a ton of friends on Facey if you take the spot off Alan Sollitt.
I bet you 50. I bet you Brendan.
You're gonna bet us 50.
I'll bet you Brendan Palmer's 50.
Oh, yeah. Keep your eyes on it. Yep, got confirmation that it is Kinser Claridge in car number 22 in position 11 at the moment, as his dad, Brendan, is watching on. I have heard stories about this. Your original registration on iRacing is difficult, if not impossible, to change.
No, not impossible. Right. Not difficult. It's just you've got to email iRacing. You got to email their customer support team and just let them know that you want a name change, and then they'll email you back. They'll ask you a couple of questions. You just got to reply. But once that's all been approved, it'll take about 2 or 3 days to do. So, yeah, look, can be done. So, I mean, if they want to know more, just get them to message the Facebook page here on Ultimate Dirt TV, and happy to help them.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll pass it on to the people that need it. We'll talk about that here shortly, but we are in the closing stages. Does Alan Sollitt hold on? Darren Parmenter, it's got his hands around the opportunity to take this off him. Budgeon's in here as well. Sollitt, come on, hold on.
Stop it, Daz.
Oh, come on, get off the gas. Sollitt under fire. Parmenter, he's going to try it on the top side. You have got to be joking, doesn't he? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Man.
Parmenter got him. Look, he's driving my car too.
Oh, be fair. So people probably think it's you.
Definitely not me. Definitely not me.
What is the response? What is the response to Darren Parmenter heartlessly tearing the heart out of Alan Sollitt?
You know what? Hold on. We're going to try and get Parmenter in here.
We need to talk to him about this. He has absolutely demonstrated no compassion whatsoever.
All right.
And I think we should tune in with Alan Sollitt too and ask him the question as, surely, promoter's choice, you could make it a 25-car field.
Oh, if only we could do that. That would make things a little bit easier, especially when people sort of get desperate and they feed people a right rear just to get into the show. But I mean, hats off to Daz. He's done it cleanly. But yeah, look, Sollitt should have had second.
So, will we get a chance to have a chat to him? We can see a bit of wheel spinning happening in the background. The Shane Sollitt Memorial starting grid for B main number 2. This is Mark Holt, Dale Jordison, Damon Mush and Graham Smythe on row number 2. Elliot Osborne, Nathan Mathers, Lance Bainton and Jared Ash from Ash Media, car number 3 in position number 8. That's the 4th row. Let's go to the 5th row. It's Jaden Iacono, Andrew Parks, Declan Brownsey and Jaden Mathers. And then Clint Smith sits at the back in car number 67 after a shocking turnaround earlier. He will now be at the back and see if he can do lots of advances through 6 rows to see if he can get up into that top 2. Man, it's going to be a tall order. Mark Holt and Dale Jordison where it's at the moment. We're about to let them loose. Damon Mush wants this as well. Jared Ash is looking up the back of the bus. Maybe he's got something there as they really, really close up. Man, that was strange, where the front row looked like they just got squashed up like a proverbial squeeze box. Holt goes to the front. Jordison, cracking drive on the top side. Holt, then back to Mush. Then it's Iacono. Declan Brownsey tries to step up and be a part of the show as well. This is the most intense battle for the lead we have seen all night. Well, at least a battle for second as we're trying to get into that 2-car bubble right now. Jordison untouched up in the front. There is contact with the wall in the turn 3. Graham Smythe, Damon Mush. That's where the battle is. Right at the back of the bus. Brownsey not making any advances forward. And the yellow flag comes out as we see the pace car driven by Brett, the Wheeler.
All right, so you ask and you shall receive. We sent the word out. We sent Jimmy, the security guard, out down to the pits to get the driver in the number 96 machine. And, well, Daz, you've got some questions to be answered right now.
Yeah, sorry, Alan.
Can you hear me, Daz?
Yes, mate.
Benny Bish here, mate. Look. There's a lot of banter going on, and the fact that you're an Adelaide Crow supporter has just made you even less popular, mate. What the heck is going on? That guy deserved to be in the race. It's his dad's race, and you just heartlessly just tore out his lungs and took the spot off him. What were you thinking?
To tell you the truth, I was just running the top and was feeling nice. And it wasn't until I passed him I realised it was a United car. So then the boys told me, Discord, you've just knocked Alan out of a transfer. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, wow.
United no more.
Not United at all. Oh, my gracious. That is just gold. Oh, man. Well, congratulations, Darren. We'll see you in the big show later on, mate, as much as you'll be a super popular winner if you can get the win.
Thanks very much.
Good on you, buddy. Darren Parmenter, slightly tongue-in-cheek interview with a guy who just took the transfer spot after the promoter of this race was doing it in honour of his dad. And you know what? Shane would just think that was absolutely hilarious. He would think that it was funny as, and he'd be probably, if he was doing his high performance video of this race, you would see the camera probably shaking because Shane would be laughing so much about what happened. 3 laps are down of this one, and now Jordison, man, is this really a restart? Because that is a cracking run. What is he doing?
So it looks like the pace truck has sort of gone off, so they're just sort of catching up to, I guess, the exit of turn 4. They're just going to wait for the iRacing. Oh, no. All right, our worst fears are, you know how we were talking about last week, having a virtual rain out?
Yeah.
And how I said, unless the server glitches out. Oh, no, there it is. The pace truck's there, so.
Oh, phew.
Never mind. I thought.
You had to put the kiss of death on it, mate.
Yeah, look, I think Shane might be having a bit of a giggle right now.
Yeah, you'd be thinking that's hilarious. Okay, so hopefully we are good to go. And just looking at the lighting along the top side, there's a couple of dark spots, isn't there, where you see these guys get lost. But Lance Baton sitting at the top spot there. Is that right? Not sure if that's right, is it? No, Dale Jordison now is back up, and there we go. That's where he deserves to be. Jordison leads, then it's Holt. Trying to get my head around what's going on the top side there, but Dale Jordison, still, you better take over from here, mate. Maybe you can see something that I can't.
It looks like Mark Holt is in second. Then you go back to Mathers and Smith, and then Iacono as well. So Iacono actually working the bottom side into turn number 1 and 2, but again, top 2 is where you need to be. Everybody else is all for bragging rights. Oh, look out. Holt into the wall. Iacono going to make it up into the inside. He'll make it to position 2. 5 down, 5 dry. Benny is starting to see a lot of drivers come back to the bottom side.
Yeah, that's impressive. Jordison, Iacono, Mathers is the one on outside of the bubble. How cool is this to see these guys running so far up on the top side? Someone squaring up, just coming out of shot there. Jordison under no threat whatsoever. He's brilliantly positioned himself right at the top, and here we go. We're about to see a change for second, are we? Mathers goes on the top. Iacono stuck right down on the pole line, trying to make that work, and he's got good drive out of turn 4, but man, it's just a momentum killer down on the bottom there. He's going to have to at least go up maybe a car width to just keep the car and keep the car under him at the moment. Jordison leads. Mathers is second. Smythe, and look, man, you've just got to feel for the car sitting down on the bottom side there. Is he Jaden Iacono? Man, he just seems like he's absolutely stuck in solitary confinement at the moment.
Yeah, it looks like this top side's a little too dominant at the moment, but once this top side wears away, and once this track gets really slick, this is where the bottom side and the drivers that have that throttle control and the ability slide up. Oh, look how Mathers and Smythe nearly coming together into 3 and 4. It is Jordison. He gets the checkered flag. Oh, look out. I think Smythe has got second here. I think Mathers got into the wall.
Oh, man. Oh, and there's a big contact right before the finish line. Didn't catch who that was. And, oh, yep, that's the 58 car of Andrew Parks that has parked it right on the start-finish line and rolling around. Probably a little bit too much Anzac Day celebration there, judging by the body language of the car. So Jordison gets the win. Mathers will join him in the main show, which means we have one B main remaining here at Lanier. For those of you who've just joined us, a big welcome to you. Brett Wheeler in the commentary. I'm Benny Bish, joining in with him as a guest here while he fiddles around and brings people in for awkward interviews. That's generally the job description tonight.
Well, I think we've succeeded so far, 1 from 1.
Yeah, good job. Yeah. There was a reference earlier asking the question about the sedan titles. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I think they're still considered to be the this year's national title. They try and get them all done before December, but in the context of a calendar or the financial year calendar that we run to over the summer in Speedway in Australia, it's essentially going to be 8 national titles in the space of one season, which is pretty full on. So let's have a look at the way that the final B main looks. It's Brendan Palmer going to bet $50 that he will lead into turn number 1. Paul Rooks has done well to get into the second position for B main number 3. Gavin Sadler, Jacob Dixon sharing row number 2. Lockie Beattie and Mitty G on row number 4. Brad Pascoe, Simon Bessman in position 7 and 8 respectively. We go back to position 9. Casey O'Connell, Adam Lind. Is it Casey O'Connell's birthday today? I think it might be. Russell Bonzi sits in P11, Mark Farmer P12, and right at the back of the bus, Jamie Hall and Aaron Hatton in cars number 26 and 43 respectively. We're about to let them go as the pace truck goes infield. There's Brett Wheeler.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I didn't take your bet on Brendan Palmer leading into turn number 1 and 2, because that's exactly what happened. Couple of NG contracting cars being turned around the wrong way. Big wreck in turns 1 and 2. We stay green for the moment. Gavin Sadler upstairs. Look at them, 3 wide already. They're on the outside and inside concrete walls. Right rear. Sadler rides the cushion. You see that left front bouncing up down through 1 and 2. But Sadler and Palmer, the top 2 drivers at the moment.
Yeah, they look okay, but it's that battle for third that if anything goes wrong with the top 2, man, there is about 5 desperados that really, really want to make it into the show tonight. Brendan Palmer looking the goods. Casey O'Connell, and as the yellow flag comes out, pace truck returns. Been busy tonight.
It's done its fair share of laps. So hopefully that they don't need to refuel that thing. Well, wouldn't that be cool if they could?
We were talking before. Sorry. Talking before about how in some situations you've got those nobody's fault type situations in iRacing, just like you have in the real world. And, you know, you can get a puncture in the real world. That is nobody's fault. Maybe they ran a demo derby at that racetrack the night before. I don't know. But we have the same situation, just different circumstances in iRacing where you can have things go wrong and it's no one's fault. It's just the way it rolls, and you've got to take the good with the bad, don't you?
You do, but you could also have internet issues online where you can't have those in the real world. So that could be also a puncture as well.
Andrew Toasties Macintosh. He was the one who posed that question earlier. Basically, what I said, Andrew, because you didn't hear it the second time, is that, yes, those titles will still be considered to be the 2019-2020 titles. They'll try and do them before the December hits, and as a result of that, that will fill out the calendar, so to speak. But there will be 8 national titles for sedans in the space of what we would normally call a season. Oh, big contact as they battle for 5th there as B-Main number 3 continues on lap 3. And who was that just got a massive shunt?
Paul Rooks in the 64, Russell Bonzi as well, but Casey O'Connell, he was one of the cars that went upside down as well, and we were told in chat that Casey turned 18 on the 23rd, so a couple of days ago.
Yeah, okay. Thought he came up on the old Facebook feed. I'm in a funny situation at the moment where I'm going through my birthdays and finding it's a good way to go through and go, you know what, I have absolutely no clue who that person is, and I don't have any mutual friends. And you find them just by going through your birthdays every day. So I'm going through and deleting them, but I'm also seeing whose birthday it is. So it's just a bit of a tip. If you want to, clean out the old Facebook, so to speak. Brady, you'd have a few friends on the FB.
That's a very clever idea, Benny. I never thought to do that. Because, in all honesty, if I'm going to delete someone, I'll just go and delete them. But I would have to go search them. But it's, going through that many people that, you have on there, it can take literally hours. It's like, well,
there's no point. It takes 365 days to do it this way. It's a little bit heartless because essentially your birthday present to that person is, I'm deleting you. But as heartless as that sounds, it's not quite as heartless as Darren Parmenter. We're about to roll out for lap number 3 of 10 as the B-Main continues. How good is Brendan Palmer? He's got the $50 on the dash, just slotted in behind the tacho as that sits up somewhere around $7,000 at the moment. Gavin Sadler, Lockie Beattie in hot pursuit as well, goes down in the bottom. There is huge rollover. 4 cars involved at the tail of the field.
Yeah, it's keeping an eye on Brad Pascoe as well, just running the bottom side of the racetrack in the 15. He's made his way to position 3 as the yellow flag will come out, but I tell you what, Sadler needs to be careful here because Brad Pascoe's pretty good, but tell you what, just looking at the cars back on pit road, I think that might have been Paul Rooks and Adam Lind caught up in that one, unfortunately.
Rooksy would be hating that, wouldn't he? He'd be just like, man, this is a full rip-off. This is harder work than actually having a real car. Just remember, Rooksy, you don't have to go to the car wash straight after this, mate. You can go straight to the kitchen and grab yourself a cold ale. Andrew Toasty Macintosh, thanks heaps. No worries, brother. Great to have you on board. Not as much banter on the Ultimate Dirt TV Facebook page as I expected tonight. So we'd love you to jump on there. Just let us know how the burgers are. And what's the food specialty here at Lanier?
Whatever you like.
No, every racetrack's got a special food that they offer. And, everyone's got their thing that they... No
idea, but we'll just say nachos.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Imagine sitting up on the hill with a plate of nachos. It'd be cold by the time you get back to the grandstand, wouldn't it? Brendan Palmer leads. Gavin Sadler is second. Brad Pascoe is third. Hall, Farmer, right at the back, just switched over there. So let's have a look from 4th onwards when the ticker comes around. It's Beattie, G, Bonzi, and O'Connell for your top 7 as we now back under green flag conditions. Half race distance for B-Main number 3, Brett Wheeler. Can Brendan Palmer hold on to this? He's coming under fire from Sadler. Sadler flicks up into the middle and goes down the bottom. He may take the lead off him. Man, he squares the car up way too much. Is it enough? Not quite for Brendan Palmer. He still leads. Does that mean we're going yellow again?
Yes, it is. So basically, okay, so for... Now this is the first time you've ever seen this ticker, so... right above, at the top where it's got the Shane Sollitt Memorial, if that, I think, is greyed out, it means we're green. Obviously, yellow means yellow, and then down to the left, where it's got Midgets 6 of 10, that's obviously the lap counter. Once that goes white, it'll turn over and say final lap. And then, of course, checkered flag and checkered flag.
So I'm catching up pretty quickly here.
Well, we're in the last B-Main, but in all fairness, I never explained it to you. So
Thanks for nothing, mate.
yeah, look,
Guest commentator. Did you see that? Guest commentator. Stacey Sollitt's very happy with the idea of nachos, and Dallas Sharp's keen for some Archerfield chips. And Lanier's got the best tacos, Andrew Gow tells us.
oh, there you go. See,
Stacey's very, very happy with the nachos. Good to have her on board. Watching in for Dad's race tonight. The budgies will be chirping in the background as a result of that injustice earlier, Stacey, no doubt. As Lockie Beattie now sits in the top spot. Brendan Palmer has been used to being at the front here, but he's got a bit of work to do to try and get up on car number 16. We're about to go. Pace car comes infield. We're good to go. Palmer steps up. Something was a little bit skewed up there with the timing. Look at the way Palmer sits up on the top side. Sadler half a second behind. Pascoe right on his tail. And now he's under fire as well. Up on the top. Man, there's some grip up there and there's more contact.
yeah, look at G on the top side in the 4 machine. I bet you 50, I said Mitchell G makes it into the main event. He's just got to get by the 2 cars, work on the bottom side. So G's going to have free reign upstairs. He just needs to make sure that he doesn't need to do what he did in the heat race. Yellow flag going to come out just as G was winding up and getting ready to tackle 3rd position car facing the inside concrete wall. I believe that might be Adam Lind in the 23 machine.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it could be Bonzi. No, Bonzi's, I think Bonzi's just trying to get a quick ride to the Ambos.
Well, apparently they have fresh nachos, so it's totally understandable. For Russ, who interesting times for him because this is the time of the year where his business really starts to rev up. Well, actually, it's a little bit quiet now, usually around April for Russell Bonzi, and then he gets ready for the onslaught of engine freshen up. So, the interesting times for him at Russell's Race Engines, who doesn't just handle speedway engines but handles street cars as well. He's helped me out with my car, and so keep your eyes on Russ, and hopefully he'll be able to get back into this race, swallow down some nachos, or maybe his daughter will do that for him. We're about to let go of 2 laps to go. Green, white checker it will be. And you reckon Mitty G can step it up?
I bet you 50. I bet you Palmer's 50.
Bet your Palmer's 50. So you're not going to actually trade any cash at all. No
Not
transaction.
at all.
Let's have a look at the way Brandon Palmer goes. He goes on the top side this time. Sadler on the bottom. Pascoe sitting just behind him and doesn't get as much momentum on the top as I would have thought. He's under fire now as well. Mitchell G could do something here. Right rear is poised, ready to make contact if he needs to. As he goes down, that's not where he was before. Slides up, doesn't make contact, misses out on that top spot. This is pressure on. Mitchell G is about to lose $50 for Brett Wheeler because he tries down the bottom. Is it going to be enough? No.
Told you it was Palmer's 50.
Yeah. Gavin Sadler, Brad Pascoe, disappointing there for Mitchell G to not make it into the show after running 4th coming from the back of the bus there. Good job, but that is decided. The grid will be set for the main event.
All right, so we're going to bring in our 6 heat race winners. Heat race number 1 winner was Trent Gosley, so we will bring him in right now, and we're going to see if he's going to have the grapefruits to go from the back of the bus. Trent, are you opting to go to the rear of the field for an extra 25 if you can win it?
Yeah, mate, I'm going to the back.
All right, cool. For a North Queensland supporter, you're not that soft at all, but good luck.
Sorry, mate, I got Alan talking at the same time. I can't hear you. What was that?
Yeah, convenient, right? Typical
Very.
North. Anyhow, good luck. Get out of here. He's done. Harry Stewart up next. Ben, I'll tell you, you can ask him the question here.
Yeah, look, I've just noticed that there's a little bit of chat here. Dave Palmer has said, bet you $50 that these guys don't know the real story behind the $50. Well, do tell Dave. Don't just leave us hanging like some poor home and away episode right at the tail end. We need to know the $50 story. I'm sort of got that idea that it's probably not printable. That's just my tip. A big hello.
Harry Stewart, are you opting to go to the back for an extra $25?
Yep, I'll go to the back.
All right, 2 people, not so soft. Our 3rd heat race winner from United Sim Sports, the Formula 500 driver, former legend car racer, Hayden Pascoe. Are you going to be soft? Are you going to go to the back or are you going to harden up?
We're going to go to the back.
You know, that's it. Benny, we're 3 from 3 so far. How about this guy, the pup, Caden Brown? Caden, are you going to go to the back for an extra $25?
Of course I am. Brett, I think it's a long race at 60 laps. It's going to be pretty slick, pretty racy. So I think getting to the front 60 laps is going to be pretty manageable. And if I'm good enough and the setup's good enough, I think we'll make our way there.
So very professional, even on the sim side of things. We are going to get heat race number 5 win. I'll tell you what, I'm almost going to bet Brendan Palmer's 50 again. This next bloke won't take it. But let's bring in Callum Davidson. Kez, are you going to go to the back for an extra $25?
Nah,
Yeah,
stay where I am.
Told ya, I'm 50 richer. You're soft. He's the typical West Aussie. And Kobe, you're the last driver. Will you go to the back for an extra $25 if you can win?
Oh, no, I won't be going to the back, unfortunately.
You are soft as well. 2 soft guys. Heat 5 and 6. Well, they're not going to the back first. Second, well, the first 4 heat race winners will go to the back. Betty, there's a little bit on the line and up for grabs here tonight. Yeah, no, we'll leave that one. Good chat, Benny. Good chat. So we'll go through the... Oh, wow, I just dropped my phone. Go through the first... Let me get this up here. So the money payouts. So first prize, $100 to the winner. Second spot will net you $50. Third place will net you $25. The hard charger will get $25. And of course, any heat race winner who comes from the back of the bus will win an extra $25. Those drivers are the first 4 heat race winners in tonight's earlier races. Travis Castagna is also putting up some money for the driver starting 6th and opts to go to the rear. Well, we can tell you that was Kobe Dent. He did not opt to go to the rear. So, in fact, he could have had an extra $50 if he had won. 6th place finisher is going to grab $25. Now, I believe that was Shane Sollitt's number when he raced, if I'm not mistaken by these notes. We've also got an Ash Media Premium 12-month subscription to the highest place B main transfer in the A main. So the 6 drivers that transferred from the B, the highest position, or the highest finishing driver out of those 6 drivers will get themselves a 12-month subscription to Ash Media.
Well, so pressure on. I realised what I was doing before that got all the repeating happening in my ears. It's because I actually opened up the video on Facebook and the audio was turned on, so I was hearing the commentary back. I go, what the heck's going on here? Dave Palmer has tuned in and has given a little bit of clarification. Benny, he said, I'm the financial backer that lost many $50 at this year's Australian Midget title. Yeah, poor thing. Stacey Sollitt confirming that he ran number 6 when he was racing, and she's got the number 6 on her RC race, so that's cool. Glenn Wright. Responding to Dave, best night that one. Good to have Glenn Wright, G-Dub, in the house as well. Although he hasn't got himself a sim. What's going on there, G-Dub? Too busy painting to be doing that. So a little bit of downtime for us at the moment, and the reason for those of you who've just joined us, Brett.
Obviously, just chatting with the guys from the first 6 heat races, but that is done, and we are set to go into tonight's A main 60 laps here for the 2nd annual running of the Shane Sollitt Memorial. Now remember, when we go through our starting grid, the first 4 drivers, they will go to the rear of the field. So essentially row 3 will move up to row number 1, but we will go through and take a look here at your Ultimate Dirt TV starting grid, and these 4 drivers that are about to show up on the screen here in just a couple of seconds' time. Trent Gosley, Harry Stewart, Hayden Pascoe, and Caden Brown. If they win tonight, they will pick up $125. So, again, they will start positions 24, 23, 22, and number 21. We'll go through the rest of the running order, and they're going to line up. Basically, it's going to show from position number 5 and number 6, Benny.
5 and number 6. You've still got me there. I've just got a little bit of audio. It's a bit quiet for me for some reason. It's P7, Travis Castagna and Denny Vassell out of P8 in car number 97. Flicking it over to the next row, Aaron Hodgson, Carl Hoffman's done well there. Carl Hoffman's flying under the radar all night in that final position of the 10. Harley Smee and Callan Arthur on the first row of the second 10.
And we'll go back to Damien Butler and Jock Goodyear out of position 13 and 14. Bradley Oldfield and Joel Berkeley in what would be normally row 8, but again, that'll move up to row number 6. Then you go back to Jared Steen, Dylan Byrne, Tyler Strala, and Dale Jordison, your top 20.
Yeah, looking the goods, aren't they? Brendan Palmer, Darren Palmer, the Heartbreaker is the new name. I want to see that written on the side of the car. He's in P22, car number 96. Nathan Mathers and Gavin Sadler in positions number 23 and 24, respectively. To round them out, we have got a massive 60 laps around Lanier here in Georgia, about 50 miles north of Atlanta, where it's the capital for Coke. Got to go to Coke World in Atlanta with Matt Nolte, and there is every flavour of Coca-Cola around the world. You can sample all of it for as long as you like. Pace car goes to the infield. Who will stand at the top? We're about to find out. We've got 60 laps for the Shane Sollitt Memorial. The second running is the top side. Kobe Dent looking the goods. Callum Davidson down on the bottom. He's looking tidy as well. Keep your hands on as Danny Vassell. Oh, we've got issues for yellow. Hodgson out of it. I'm not sure if there was contact.
Oh, yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was.
Castagna.
Yeah, Castagna has made serious contact with him as we take that onboard shot and just see how hard the hit was. Oh, yeah, maybe. Was he jumped or was he pushed? And
I think Castagna went to go because the guy on pole, and I think that might be Davidson.
Yeah.
Tell you what, let's go on board here with, if I can find where his name is. Jesus. It's always a pain sometimes when you're trying to go back through and take a look at the replays, but I think that Castagna seen. This isn't Castagna. I mean, it's so difficult to get. I've gone through about 17 different drivers so far just to try and get to Travis Castagna. Here we go.
Castagna on the inside of the second row will get this view. So we go for a replay to see where that contact came from.
It almost looked like Davidson sort of went to get on the gas a little early.
And as a result, reaction time meant that Castagna thought, well, I'm going to have to go around you because you've got issues. And he's made massive contact there. So what will that mean for the restart? Let's have a look at the way they set up.
Yeah, they're going to go back to double file and just the way that iRacing tells them to line up.
Right.
So essentially, although we didn't get a lap in, it's going to classify as lap number 1 complete. So still 59 to run.
Here we go. Nice start again for Callum Davidson. Castagna trying to make up for that last indiscretion now, looking very, very tidy. He's under fire. Now Davidson not really pushed at the moment because the battle is there for second. Castagna, Dant really pushing hard. Man, there is a 4 battle here for second position early in the stages as they go up on the top side. Little bits of clouds of dust as the racetrack starts to slicken off and really lose moisture up on the top. Not as much loss as we get contact with the wall and second contact from a torpedo in turn 4.
That was Carl Hoffman's in the 33. Now, he went into the outside wall with his teammate, the 11 of Kobe Dent. Watch, this was simultaneous. It's like these guys were trying to do synchronized contact with the wall.
Yeah, it was a very precision driving team. We did mention that earlier. Man, one thing to hit the wall, another thing to get centre punched by 2 race cars on the way through as well. So hopefully no damage sustained. 4 laps out of 60 recorded at the moment. Brendan Palmer, as we go back and reshuffle the computer. See,
yes, Palmer's
on
on
the
the
top
screen.
side of that replay. Yep, you can see Caden Brown just getting back. So what you've seen tonight, who are some of the guys that you sort of think you thought they would be up closer to the pointy end?
Guys that generally can run up front. Obviously, pending a bit of luck. Castagna's one of those guys. Davidson as well. Bradley Oldfield, who now rides in position 5. Jock Goodyear, obviously. No need to throw that one out there twice. Berkeley, very good in these midget cars. He sits behind Goodyear in position 8 as well. So right where they expect it to be. Probably a little too early on, but that just means, once these guys get to the front, they're going to certainly put on a show. We go back to Green, Benny. 4 down, 56 to run.
Yeah, Castagna looking really nice down on the bottom side. Bit of a change of angle for him. Callan Arthur, how good is the momentum for Davidson? Hoffman's right at the back there as I see the tail end of the field rolling through as well. Bradley Oldfield and Callum Davison going hammer and tong at the moment, coming through. This is lap 6. We are 10% of the way through the Shade Sollitt Memorial.
Yeah, looks like we're going yellow, Benny. Damien Butler, I believe, in the 8 machine, or the 20 in fact. Normally runs the 8, but got the 20 on the tail tank of this machine here tonight. But again, we're not seeing too many green flag laps, and it's a shame because once they give each other room, this racetrack has got the potential, to do what we've seen like it, was in the heats and the B mains where they go 2 and 3 wide.
Exactly right. So, waiting now to get a restart on this one. I've got to say, keep your eyes on Caden Brown. Not too shabby on the old simulator, so to speak. As we check back in with the Ultimate Dirt TV Facebook page as well. Chris Wilkinson. That is magnificent. Oh, dear. Steve Squirrel Lawrence. G'day, Squirrel. Asking the question, Carl, what are you doing? And Travis Castagna getting the thumbs up there from Bo Holfield for that move earlier. So now we are regathered. Like we said earlier, 10% of the race down. Still a long way to go. We're expecting the GMC truck to go infield and launch them again to see if Castagna can hold on. Callan Arthur, Callum Davidson, Kobe Dent, all in this. Oldfield wants a piece as well. Top side is where there's some momentum. They are squeezed up on the bottom side. It's very popular down there, Brett.
Yeah, but there's also guys trying to make it work on the top side. Good, Berkeley trying to go through the little one car upside down. We might be going yellow once again, but there it is. Just as Oldfield was about to make the pass for third. Man, this second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, again, top and bottom. I did say this has got a potential to be the top and bottom. We've just got to get the laps in at the moment. We're not really seeing that.
Very, very dark shade of grey through the middle of this racetrack, isn't it? So, going to be interesting to see where. I just was amazed that they'd had a population of about 5 or 6 down on the bottom. We haven't seen that in any of the races prior to this. Little plumes of dust just popping up there as we roll through turn 1 again. And these guys will be getting towier than a Roman sandal, they like to say, as the pace car comes through and drives a lot like the people in the shopping centre car parks are driving currently in light of world conditions. Hope you're doing well out there. For those of you who are watching in, this might be some good comic relief for you tonight, a little bit of fun for you on a Saturday. And we know that the statistics are saying that there's a lot of people who are out there out of work at the moment. And if you're in that situation, you're in a good family with the Speedway family, and our thoughts are with you. Big hello to Troy Jenkins, who's tuned back in. Geez, the Ambo is busy. Yeah. When I used to... We'll get back to that later. Let's go. We're back in single file. Castagna leads. Arthur, Davidson, Palmer is where your top 4 is at the moment. As they back it in, everyone goes down the bottom until you get back to about 10 deep into the field. That's where the juice is. That's where the rubber is. As now they're going to go up the top. Caden Brown's pretty much the only one who's trying to stay up there. Who's that that's just flicked up in front of him?
I think that might be Hayden Pascoe, I want to say.
That's Pascoe, yep. Yeah, Pascoe. So he's done that as we've gone yellow again. What did we miss that time?
Green car, black and green car. That tells me that's Darren Palmer. That's the only driver that runs a black and green car.
Really? So is this justice for the Adelaide Crows?
It has to. Oh, he was not the one in turns 3 and 4 that I was thinking of, but he went upside down in 1 and 2, just went up by himself.
Oh, and got clipped.
Poor old Daz.
Gee, you're just reeking with...
Serves him right, I guess we could say.
Wow.
Well, come on. Look, he's a villain right now. After what he did in that B main...
He is the Gary Brazier of this event.
Never forget the day Gary Brazier when it... what's the Chiefs? Gary Winterbottom, I think, at Valvoline Raceway.
just a couple of years ago.
Just a couple of years ago, pulled up on the front straight away, pulled the steering wheel out, and we all know what kind of salute Gary Brazier likes.
Yeah, he does. He's just telling him, I am number one. That's what he was telling him. All right, let's pull the trigger again. Castagna, Arthur, Davidson, Squirrel Lawrence. G'day, mate. Good to hear from you as we're good to go. Castagna, he really would be just getting so frustrated. He's under fire now, the 17th of Davidson, trying to keep up with the 2 of Castagna at the moment. As now Arthur is on the scene. Man, there's a lot more down the bottom than what we've seen throughout the night. There's a few daring to be up on the boards here at Lanier, and they come down in the middle when it comes to turn 1 and turn 2. A little bit juicier as they go through 3 and 4, and we are yellow again.
It's all happening at the back too, so this is stuff where we're actually not seeing, but just trying to get the drivers at the back. That looks like...
Which you would think that they would just chill a little bit, considering they've got 60 laps to get through.
Well, I mean, this is sim races. Let's be honest, Penny. I think that might have been Dylan Byrne actually.
Mm-hmm. Dylan Byrne. Good to have him on board.
Again, just trying to find his name here in the timing and scoring screen. As honestly, I give up. I give up trying to go back because every time I go, they cycle through a lap and then the order changes again. And
Dave Palmer, I bet you 50 this isn't the last yellow. Good on you, Dave. Anthony Chaffee, they're so compassionate. He's checking in on his good friend Richard Morgan just to make sure that his fluid consumption is balanced at this time of the night. And that's very nice of you, Chaff. Good job, bud. Anybody have a set of points for a 64 Chrysler Newport? No, Dave. No, we haven't. All right, we're good to go.
I bet you 50, I don't.
I'll bet you 50. Now we're all down on the bottom and very, very close to the wall. It always used to be a really tough deal with the wall at Toowoomba. You could never tell when the speed cars were going around which the cars were because they were just so hidden down, particularly mod lights. Is it Caden Brown that's still up on the top side? Is it going to work for him? We are now 1/6 of the way through the race here for the Shane Sollitt Memorial Mark II. As now we've got someone exactly who I predicted. Caden Brown up on the top side. Can he make any difference up there? He's decided to go down on the bottom. And that's in the middle. There's Pascoe that he's going to battle with here at the moment as well in Oldfield.
Yeah, watching Jock Goodyear on the top right now on screen just in front of him. Bradley Oldfield as well. So Oldfield making the slider line work. Oh, look how there's contact into turn number 3 and 4. One car around. Callum Davidson, the pole sitter. That's what he gets for not taking the extra challenge for $25 to go to the back. As he was your pole sitter. We're yellow again.
Yeah, Callan Arthur, Travis Castagna, Bradley Oldfield, your top 3 at the moment. Jock Goodyear up at the 4th. Harry Stewart just avoiding all the melees to sit in the top 5 as well. So that's cool.
He was Heat 2 winner, by the way.
Rounding out the 10. Yeah.
So if he wins, it'll be 125 instead of 100.
Mm-hmm. Need an Aussie flagman. Midget band. Richard Morgan, he needs to clean the palate, so to speak, having a couple of drinks, watching needs to... Dust is killing me. I can imagine, Rich. I can imagine. Where is your son and why is he not racing? Are we back again?
No. Look, at least it's not in your at least it's not in his eyes this time. At least he's not having to duck for chunks of clay coming at you. No, I said pole sitter, Scott. Oh my God. Although, you know what, I'm gonna call him that off air now. Well, just because, yeah. Well, again, these United guys. There's a ton of them.
Audio, I think the audio just sort of made you sound like you said something that you didn't. Castagna leads. Then it's Arthur. Then it's Oldfield that are sitting on the podium at the moment. But there is a lot of people that want to argue that point as they all run down onto the lighter shade. As up on the top side, who's taking the risks up there? That's Goodyear. That's how he's making the numbers. That's how he's passing cars. He's good down the bottom. Let's see if he flicks up the top when we go through 1 and 2 again. He's looking. The good's Goodyear. He's in 4th at the moment, just outside of a podium position. But if he keeps up that sort of momentum, that guy, it could be standing on the top side. Oh, man.
Yeah, this isn't the race that we wanted to see.
No. What is going on here?
Surely cars have got to start being eliminated. Actually, that's Berkeley. Berkeley's gone.
Has he? Has he
Garrett?
been called?
No, he's been summoned back to pit road. He had an accident in turns 3 and 4. That's actually soft for Berkeley. And Harley Smee went in front of him too, I think that is. Pretty sure that's Harley Smee in the red car. This is a producer's worst nightmare.
Really? Because you can't follow it?
Cannot follow. Oh, there we go. And then you watch. I go to the replay. Yeah, there it is. Harley Smee. Oh, no. Now he's gone again. Here he is. Smee and Berkeley went over in 3 and 4.
Yeah, okay. Man, only got centre punched as well. So that dark shade of grey that I was referring to earlier. Dylan Byrne, Dan cooked it, but it was great fun. Thanks, guys. Good on you, Dill. The old DB out of the race. And what's the curfew, Troy? I have no idea. But there is a noise limitation, TJ, as well. Don't want to go past 95 or you'll get eliminated. We're back in green conditions now. Castagno, exactly where we thought he'd be. Callan Arthur wants to do something about that. Oldfield, then Brown on the scene. He's back a little bit at the moment. Caden Brown, has he just made contact with the wall? I think he just rode the wall big time there in the the temporary fence hire entry.
Someone went under. Someone did catch the wall, but Brown actually went underneath him, so he actually kind of avoided it. So he actually done well. He was heat 4 winner, I think he was. Just trying to go back and. I think it might have been... No, it wasn't Gosley.
Yeah, interesting. Good crowd in the house. Everyone wearing shorts too is the fashion, so it's a nice temperature. We didn't get a look at the weather conditions earlier, Brett. Might be an opportunity for us to have a look at that and just see what we're dealing with here on a beautiful night in Atlanta. Anybody who's online with us tonight, if you've been to this venue, if you look at it on Google Maps, it's still got bitumen and a little bit of karting. But at the moment, it's 0% chance of precipitation, 28 degrees Celsius, and 21 degrees track temperature at the moment. Now, according to this, that's interesting, 0.5 of a kilometre, where it's a 3/8 mile in Braselton in the real world. But anyway, we're about to go. Is it green? No? Yes? Yes, it is. We are in green conditions again. Castagno leads back to Callan Arthur, like we've said 10 times before. And here comes on the slingshot on the top side. How cool is this? Bradley Oldfield, what happened to Jock Goodyear? Where have we got him? Has he just reared the
Position 4.
Okay, so
he's the car on the top.
Oh, there he is. Okay, yep. Just a bit dark here where I don't know, for some reason I've lost a little bit of resolution at this end up here on the Gold Coast. As Brett Wheeler joins me now, he decides to go down the bottom and kisses the left front on the wall to try and stay in touch. There's your top 4. He swings up top. He's under pressure. Is he going to be able to do anything about that? And here comes the big dog. The pup is on the crawl as well as he comes for a slider under and makes contact. Man, the Formula 500 national champion gets a tee up from a former speed car national champion. And we go yellow once more. Castagno, Oldfield, Arthur, Kobe Dan in 4th, Stewart, and then Caden Brown. And as a result of that, a little bit of relegation there for Jock Goodyear. Man, there'll be no love lost between those two boys.
No, I think Goodyear just, as he was coming back by Brown, I think he might have just given him a little bit of a rear 11 to the rear nerf bar.
Yeah.
As you do. When, yeah.
It'd be nice to know what people's Sims rigs are.
Jocks is... Well. I've seen Jocks. It is just top of the line. Triple screens.
Yeah, right. So the question is, in light of that, how much like vibration pack does he run? Like, does he have the vibration packs where if he actually got a tap, he would feel it?
That I'm not too sure. I know it looks the part. Right. Good just obviously don't do things, in bits and pieces. They go all out if they're going to get it. And Jock's Sim is no different.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right, so we line them back
Actually,
up. And
lucky bugger. If I'm not meant to say this, Jock, I'm sorry, but he's got 2 of them.
What? So is that team racing between him and Dad?
No, that's
Glenn
team
Beaton
racing
will
between Jock and Jock.
He'll swim across the Bass Strait, Glenn Beaton, and go down and have a bit of a run with the boy. Great combination, Glenn Beaton and Jock Goodyer, and hopefully we get to see them in the World Series Sprint Cars Tour again. That will do another 10,000 kilometres around Australia as we're about to pull the trigger. One more time, we are just short of a third of the way through Mark 2 of the Shane Sollitt Memorial. Down on the bottom side to get the best run, Castagna. Oldfield has short-shifted Callan Arthur to take over second. Berkeley back, as the ticker goes over. Carl Hoffman still right at the back of the bus as we go back through. Jock Goodyer, Harry Stewart in the big battle between the two.
Yeah, Stewart's got a little bit extra to play for right now. He's got a chance at an extra $25 payday on top of the $100 winners. Checkers after moves up on Goodyer, but Goodyer powered around the outside. Goodyer, look at Stewart, 3 wide down in a turn of 1 and 2, and the battle is on for the lead. Bradley Oldfield, the West Aussie, up into position number 1. He's going to be tough to beat from here, Benny.
He found something then too that was magnificent. So he came in high from down the straight, and here comes the pup. Caden Brown on a march at the moment as he splits the difference. There's contact between him and Stewart, was it?
Callan Arthur it was. No, that's
okay.
Stewart's on the top just there, just on the outside of now Kobe Dent. But man, that was a nice split there from Brown, but Arthur just sort of left with nowhere to go. That was hard luck.
Have a look at that pace that Bradley Oldfield had 2 laps from where we are right now, and he just found something. There was a path from the top side of the straight right through the middle. He just came down at right on the start-finish line and found something that just catapulted him into the top spot. So Bradley Oldfield's found something, car number 51. So some decent names here wanting to make it pay. There's every possibility of earning more than what you would stacking shelves at Woolies at the moment with what you can earn with the amount of iRacing that's on at the moment. We'll do one more rotation around Lanier as the ambulance, as Troy Jenkins was pointing out earlier, been working very, very hard tonight.
Definitely overtime for the pace truck, and also overtime for the Ambos and the tow truck. They've had a lot of virtual stuff going on.
Yeah, 100% they have. So, pressure on. Are we about to go green this time around? I'm going to see if we can get through. We're just past 1/3 of the way through. Oldfield leads over Castagna. Then it's Goodyer. Then back to... just missed it out of the corner of the shot there. Let's see if Oldfield can make this work. He's very, very good on the top. And here comes the pup again. Through the middle. Splits the difference. Comes and wipes the mustache off the front. Caden Brown takes over and slides it up. This is going to be a great battle between these two. A little bit hard to tell the difference between the two cars, particularly when they go into those dark spots. And now on the top side, they just close down. It's almost like synchronized swimming between Caden Brown and Jock Goodyer.
Yeah, we're going yellow again, but yeah, this is going to be a 3-car battle that I want to watch. Brown, Goodyer, and Stewart. Is that camera any better there for you, Benny, or not?
It looks pretty much the same.
Yeah, figured as much.
Thanks for your help. What a great producer.
Just try to get you something that you can see.
Yeah, appreciate that. Maybe I just need to work on the old TV and put a little bit more light into it. That could help, couldn't it? Big hello to you if you've just tuned in. Steve, the Squirrel, Lawrence, very concerned about the pace car fuel, but they do have a fuel station in the infield here, mate, so nothing too much to be worried about. Sean Butcher's tuned in, very concerned about the amount of beer that will be available if this race continues going. Andrew Dowdy has the Ambo's got any dusk masks? You can only hope so, but there's only one country that's producing them proficiently at the moment. Is anyone going to run out of fuel? That's the question. It's a legit thing, isn't it?
It really is, especially with caution laps not counting. But, you know, if you're going to short on fuel, that means you can't go hard as what, you know, other people that, you know, might have overfilled the fuel tank. Yeah,
exactly right. Well, more than just steering and pedaling at the moment. There's a bit of strategy going to be involved to survive this one. 26 laps down out at 60. Oldfield, Castagna, Brown. And now this is where the battle is going to really start to heat up. If they can just get some consistency, sliding up and just making friends with turn number 4. It's Caden Brown, the temporary fence hire entry for the former national champion, slides up into the second spot in the 97 car. Castagna gets relegated. Now he's under fire as well. As Harry Stewart's on the scene and wants a piece of this. This is good. Jock Goodyear just settling back in 5th. I expected him to go forward, not backwards. What's going to happen to the Tasmanian?
Yeah, still plenty of laps to go. 32 laps this time by, but it is Oldfield, Brown and Stewart. Tell you what, if we get to see this race finish out, tell you what, lap traffic, if it becomes a factor, then it'll be interesting to see how a wingless racer goes here on the sim. He's very, very fast in the midget here on the iRacing.com service. He's in fact picked up already a Speed Week and a MSL season championship to his credit already in the space of the past probably 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, exactly right. Just building the resume is now. That is a wonderful drive out of turn number 4. Just finding. This is just as much about racing as research and development at the moment, trying to find where there is just that little extra bit of grip to get the edge. That shade of grey is going very, very close to black at the moment now as we continue on. Yellow flags are out. Not sure what the incident was, but Oldfield will lead over Caden Brown and Harry Stewart.
Maybe Kalanath, he was stopped on the back straight away. So I'm not sure whether he had some rear end damage or whether something shut off in that car. Again, technical issue on the computer side of things. He was just parked on the back straight away out of turn number 2, but Kalanath, they're going to be credited with a 16th place finish, and we've only got 15 cars left in this one. This is the restart that I wanted to see. Look at this top 4. Oldfield, Brown, Stewart and Goodyear. Just look at the real life experience just there. I mean, Stewart's yet to have any, but once he can get going and once he can kick Dad out of the seat of the compact, just see what he does.
Your days are numbered, Robbie. That's exactly what Brett is trying to infer here. He's trying to be polite, but that's what he's saying.
Hey, look, I'm just going on what your son tells me. All right, look. I talk to Harry nearly every night, so.
Mm-hmm.
Again, one of those United boys, just like Bradley Oldfield. There's a few of them in this field.
Mm-hmm.
Showing no favouritism. Give them all grief as much as everybody else.
That's what they deserve. All right, now we're about to go. We have just passed half race distance. 29 remain here as Bradley Oldfield leads them off. Caden Brown back to Harry Stewart. And now he'll go up on the top side. Now they're trying to populate the top to see if that's where the momentum is, and it is. They get a little bit of a run, but even if you flick up from the bottom, it'll still put you in front of the guys who are trying them. Look at this from Stewart. Big slider. Is there contact with the 4 wall? No, it's not. It's perfectly timed as he gets the most out of turn 4 and keeps up his momentum into 1 as well. It gives him a great slingshot out of 2, down the back straight. Just starts to creep up on the back of Oldfield. Oldfield going to be under fire here. Caden Brown has the best seat in the house, but he's under fire as well for Goodyear. Back on the scene and back into 3rd.
Yeah, Brown just going to move Goodyear out of the way, but the battle is on for the race lead. And so many times last year I seen this, as did Harry Stewart. He finished 2nd to Oldfield on so many occasions. But this time we'll have 26 to go. Oldfield moves up. Stewart jams on the brakes, stabs and drives the car back down to the racetrack. Here comes a slide job for the race lead. Benny, it is on.
He has just pointed the car and said, that is my real estate. He has put a sign in it and said, that's mine. That's a cracking run from Stewart. Up on the top, almost glancing the tail tank nerf on the wall. He'd be able to feel the vibration of it scratching as he goes down into the middle of the track. That is something a little bit different. He's familiar with how to exit out of 4. He's mastered that probably better than anybody else in the race at the moment, and that's where he's making his big gains. So if you want to take something off Harry Stewart, take away his run into turn 4. Bradley Oldfield trying to do that, pulls a wheelie down the back straight now, but look at this again, perfect execution from Stewart as he claims another lap. 38 down. This is lap 38, beg your pardon, 37 down.
Yeah, watching Brown following the footsteps right now of Oldfield and Stewart in how they're getting around the racetrack. Another big wheel stand. Man, are we watching like synchronized or just a lap later deja vu? We've seen Oldfield do it a couple of laps ago. Now Brown does it in going into turn number 3. That, tell you what, Oldfield, he loves the bottom side of the racetrack, and if he gets that bottom side working, Stewart's going to be in for a treat.
Yeah, exactly right. He's going to be really, really under threat. Jock Goodyear still sits in 4th. Castagna and Palmer still battling over 5th and 6th as well as we go back through the field. Kobe Dent had the reverse lights on just a little bit as he sets back in 8th at the moment. Let's tune back in to the way they roll at the front. We are yellow as Just try and work out now. I think that's probably the longest run of laps that we had in succession in between yellows, yes?
Putting me on the spot. Wasn't keeping track, but look, I'm just going to say yes.
Thank you. Just agree and
Yep.
flow along. Like it sounds like I know what I'm talking about.
Makes two of us.
Yeah. Take it till you make it. That's how it rolls. Big hello to Waylon Wilson, who's giving you some props there, Brett. Great coverage. Thank you. Andrew Dowdy. I assume that's how I pronounce your surname, Andrew. I hope I'm doing that right. Just give me the thumbs up or thumbs down on that and give me some help. Fuel light was on. I like that. Also, Dave Palmer tuning in. Yeah, ran out of Wi-Fi. It's probably what usually happens. Ran out of talent's usually the expression, isn't it, Dave? As we get set to go again for the final third of the race. We'll get 20 laps to go after this one, and 21, beg your pardon. And now as we go up the top side, just keep your eyes on which line they take. The exit as they fan out. Beautiful dovetail between the top four. Make that the top five. Stewart, Oldfield, Caden Brown. Your top three, but that's all about to change because look at the top side under fire. It's the bottom as well. It's going to work. Jock Goodyear back on the scene in a podium position now. Car number 31 is on a tear. This is good. The temporary fence hire entry now sits down in fourth. That's Caden Brown, the pup, trying to stay on the back as Goodyear steps up in a second. Harry Stewart under fire. Oldfield swapping with Goodyear on the top side and the bottom side of the racetrack. Some of them going down low to get a little bit of that juice down near the fence. Is it enough? Stewart, beautiful execution, beautiful entry into one. Slingshots out of two and gets himself a bit of breathing space over Oldfield.
Man, all you have to do is just watching all of these two, what these drivers do here on the sim. Stewart and Oldfield, probably two of the best in the business when it comes to the bench, especially when the track gets as slick as it is right now. As Stewart pulls nearly a 4/10 of advantage. Will pull that 4/10 of advantage. Have a look who's coming in the 41. Good old BP, not the racing fuels, but it is Brendan Palmer up to position number 5. And right now, he is some hole and some serious speed.
Yeah, he's got $50 on the line extra tonight, no doubt, with the banter that's been on Facebook tonight as we keep going. This is a great run now towards the flag. We have 15 laps to go after this, and Stewart still in command while there is massive battles behind him. Stewart, Oldfield, Goodyear under fire from Caden Brown as well. The black and yellows, the yellow and black attack is what's happening here, and here comes Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer doing a nice job back there in position 5. Started in the 21st position. So right now, he would be the highest B-main finisher as Brown was a heat race winner. Oldfield was starting mid-pack along with Goodyear as well. Stewart was a heat race winner, so that is Brendan Palmer. He's also going to get a chance at picking up a 12-month subscription to Ash Media. But right now, it's still Harry Stewart, Bradley Oldfield out in front, 1 and 2. Then you go back to Jock Goodyear back there in position 3 on screen as Brown closes in into turn number 3 and 4. But tell you what, Goodyear's on the bottom side.
Yeah, it's where he seems comfortable just in the closing stages of this race. And when I say closing stages, there's still 12 remaining. He holds on to third, but only just at the moment. 11 to go. Stewart in control. Oldfield, Goodyear. And, man, there's a host of thousands behind as well as we go back under caution.
Yeah, Jared Steen, track got probably a little too slick for him. So it's just, he's known to be a tacky track warrior. There's so many guys here that you can sort of have a good banter with, have a good laugh about it. And they just take it in good stride.
Well, it's all about entertainment at the end of the day. As Harrow has just jumped in on the conversation. If there's a Mopar out there, it's Mopar or no car, they say in the hot rod world, buddy. CP3 apparently. Palmer gripping the wheel and ripping the lip. Thank you, Steve McCulloch. Great to have Macca on board as well. Send it, Palmer, from Ben Forrest. And good to have everybody on board here in honour of the man who is probably in every Queensland Speedway fan's world somehow. Someone would have a VHS or a DVD or some sort of media file from high-performance videos, particularly races of their night, that everything went together for them, or maybe there was a crash that he captured and he did it so well. We honour the man tonight as we come just just off the curve of 10 laps to go on this one. Someone turns around. That was a heavy hitter. Who was that? Palmer has turned around in turn 1 and 2. Maybe the campaign's over.
Oh, good, his campaign's not over, not by a long shot right now. He'll move into second there at the start-finish line, Bradley Oldfield. He's got some work to do, but I'll tell you what, couple of young guns right now, fighting it out for positions 1 and 2. Goodyear, but it was Stewart who shut the door, and Goodyear going down into 3. Goodyear's got a run now on the exit of 4, but Stewart, the right rear hits the cushion, and he just slingshots back to the race lead.
This is impressive from Goodyear. He has just been so systematically picking everybody off, and it gets to a little bit of an interesting time of the race now, because it's a little bit of a roulette as to where you put the car, because the racetrack is so even from top to bottom. You can pretty much race wherever you want, and you're not really going to disadvantage yourself. Stewart up on the top side, and we have a new leader. Jock Goodyear, just contact there with the tail tank right on the front nerf there for Stewart. Stewart gets unsettled. He has to go back up to the top, gets a good drive out of 4 where he's been so good all race. As a result, Goodyear goes down bottom, and he's going to have Oldfield on his tail tank. He's not getting as good a drive, Oldfield, out of turn number 2 as what Goodyear is. Now we go up top again. Look at the way that Stewart rounds him up. He must have something. He's got something in his exit out of 4. It is absolutely outstanding. There's just over 5 laps remaining. Stewart could still take this. Oldfield could still take the glory. Goodyear's in control at the moment as he goes down the bottom side.
Stewart is absolutely ripping the lip. He is trying to tear down the outside concrete wall. He's inches away, Benny, but I'll tell you what, it's the bottom side and the consistency that is getting it done for Goodyear at the moment, and he was just so calm. And you go back, I think about 20, 25 laps ago, there was contact between Brown and Goodyear, where Goodyear half-spun the car. I would have never thought at that stage that he was going to be up the front leading with 5 to go.
No, absolutely outstanding. And just when you thought Caden Brown might be coming to the party, he really is just out of picture at the moment. Has Caden Brown got enough time with only 4 laps remaining? Stewart up the top side. Sparks coming off the nerf there on the tail tank, as Goodyear will be just wondering when he's going to see him again. And there he is, out of his right eye peripheral vision. He can see car number 8 trying to round him up. He's got a good run down the front straight. He parks it, backs it right into turn 1, and he's going to have a great slingshot down the back straight. Drag race as Stewart takes back over the lead. Goodyear gets relegated to second. Oldfield watches on. They take the same line. Stewart, how good is the racecraft of this young guy who just knows where to put his car to stop the momentum of Jock Goodyear, who is so good in these sort of situations. We're coming down to the last lap. Brett, bring us home.
Stewart and Goodyear nose to toe. You see behind him Bradley Oldfield. 1 circuit left. The second annual Shane Sollitt Memorial. Goodyear all over the back of Stewart through turn number 1 and 2. He'll have one more opportunity. He gets to the outside. Here comes a big move down into turn number 3 and 4. Goodyear up on the inside. Goodyear makes a move. Stewart to the inside. Jock Goodyear's going to win. Oh boy, what a feature event. Jock Goodyear. He will steal it on the last turn. Harry Stewart, 0.144 of a second back to second. And that 10th has just cost him a cool $100 bill.
Oh, man, and that would probably mean so much to young Harry Stewart too, but what a phenomenal drive for him. It was just that experience that Jock Goodyear got him on the line, drove right under him, just knew, and we saw hints of that throughout the race, Brett, where there was just that little bit of grip right down on the fence out of turn 4, and if you were stuck down there and you knew where to place the car, you'd get a little bit of a launch and it'd be enough, and Goodyear took full advantage, gets the win over Stewart, back to Oldfield. Caden Brown wasn't a threat in the end like we thought he was. Gavin Sadler stayed out of trouble for 5th. Callum Davidson and Travis Castagna, who are right up the front in the opening stages, got down to 6th and 7th. Kobe Dent put the reverse lights on, still finishes very well in 8th. Trent Gosley and then Nathan Mathers, and very disappointing for Brendan Palmer, who was definitely looking like the hard charger of the night. Where did he finish?
He finished 12th, just behind Tyler Stroller there, Jared Steen, Damien Butler, Hayden Pascoe, your top 15, Callan Arthur, Danny Vassell, Dale Jordison, Harley Smead, Joel Berkeley, Dylan Byrne, Darren Palmer, the villain, Aaron Hodgson, and Carl Hoffman's a list of cars and stars that did not finish. Benny, we got our top 3, and I'm going to pose a question to Harry later on, but we'll bring in 3rd place tonight. How do you want to do this, Benny? Which position or positions do you want to take?
You run the show, mate. You've done a great job. You go for it.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll bring in 3rd. and that is going to be Bradley Oldfield. Bradley, second place, make that third place here tonight. Little disappointing there in the last sort of 5 to 10 laps, but third place happens to be is where you're going to have to finish.
Yeah, I felt good for most of the race. Obviously, I was up front for a fair while. Just when my line started to go away a fair bit, and took a bit of a gamble with the setup, and it paid off. And but at the end of the race, it sort of was my downfall, really. But still good. Good job for Jock and Harry on first and second. They drove pretty well.
A track that was always going to be very difficult to pass, with it being so slick. Top side very thin on the top side, very thin line downstairs. You said you went with a different sort of a setup adjustment with that, on the car. Do you think obviously that sort of hurt it there in those last sort of 10 to 15 laps when you're seeing Jock and Harry just drive away from you?
Yeah, absolutely. I knew probably with about 15 to go that it was going to happen, and there was absolutely nothing I could do about it. But it is what it is. I'm still happy to come home third. How often do you see me run up on the wall, Brett? It's not very often. It would have been pretty easy for me to wreck myself.
All right, well, look, third place run here in the second annual Shane Sollitt Memorial. We'll let you get out of here and we'll let you thank some sponsors before we let you go.
I'd just like to thank Daveline, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Parramatta, Isuzu Ute, Ultimate Dirt TV for the live stream, Alan, both Allens for running it, and all the sponsors that helped out with the show. That's good.
All right, Bradley Oldfield there, home in third place. Benny, I'll tell you what, I'll let you interview I'm going to let you do our winner. I'm going to bring in, I call him the dentist, and we'll get to that later if this happens. Yes, the young 15. How are you, 15 or 16?
15.
15. So you're not ready to kick that out of the compact just yet?
Not yet.
No. All right. Why in the world did you go down to protect the bottom side? You passed him on the top side. Why would you go down low?
I sort of thought if he can't win the slowest way possible once I got in front, I just wanted to... If he was going to pass me, I had to go around, but obviously it didn't happen in the last corner. But yeah, it was a pretty cool race. At the start, I was a bit worried we weren't going to do any laps, actually, and I was going to run out of fuel. But yeah, cool race.
Now, again, these last 5 laps, once you got to once you let Jock by, not so much let him by, but once he got by you, did you sort of give up hope then in running the top side because you had to sort of stay upstairs all the way around in turns 1 and 2?
Yeah, I sort of did. I tried it, I think, 1 lap, but me spotter said, you just got to get momentum, then you'll get back around him. I knew if I just kept hitting my marks lap by lap, get sort of half his car length each lap, I'd eventually get around him. But yeah, just made a mistake to go to the bottom 1 lap too early and not get a little bit more of a gap.
So who can we blame for this second place finish? Is it a driver, or are you putting this back on your spotter?
Oh, it was my error. I should have stayed up top another lap, but yeah.
So you
missed me mark at the bottom too.
You just cost yourself $125.
I know. Yeah.
But actually, you only cost yourself $75 because you still walk away with $50 in the end. But congratulations, Harry, on second. A stellar drive from, I think, what was 22 or 23 after taking the back road challenge there. But, Harry, congratulations. We'll let you get out of here. Before we let you go, of course, sponsor shout-outs, all that good stuff, buddy. Who makes it happen for you?
I'd just like to thank Alan Sollitt for putting this whole event on. It's really cool. You guys for broadcasting, everyone at United Sim Sports, Valvoline, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Parramatta, Isuzu Ute, and Ultimate Dirt TV.
All right, so not much of a dentist here tonight, and I'll tell you the backstory on that in a moment. Some of his interviews have just been like pulling teeth, Benny, but...
no, he was well-spoken. Good on Harry. He did a great job there, and he'd be feeling... I mean, that is a really, really wide racetrack, and you would feel so... I guess, vulnerable if he did roll the top side on his last roll of the dice to go across the finish line. He would know that you can just shorten the racetrack up in second and then just take the spot. So, you know what? I'm not sure he had a whole lot of choice than to do what he did. It just didn't work out the way that he wanted it to.
So easy for us to sit here and not criticise, but I guess just pose the question. When we're out there, I mean, who knows what would have gone through our mind? We might have done the same thing. But anyhow, Benny, you're down in Victory Lane and chatting to the driver who comes away with the Shane Sollitt Memorial win.
Yeah, a very big congratulations, Jock Goodyear. Good job, buddy. Nice work. You just picked him off. You were staying out of trouble pretty much the whole time, and it paid off in the end.
Yeah, you're right there, Benny. It was obviously a bit of action-packed race. The line changed so much, and I don't know. I got to the top early on, and I don't know. I felt pretty good, but I just didn't feel as good as Harry and all them others. They were ripping it a lot better than me. And then obviously spotters, they told me get down there and just obviously have your own line, your own race, and hopefully get there. And then obviously we got there.
Yeah, you did indeed, mate. Harry was just sort of lamenting that he went down the bottom, shouldn't have gone down the bottom. But the reality is, on a racetrack that's that wide, if he went up on the top side, man, he was going to be vulnerable anyway, wasn't he?
Yeah, obviously. I don't know. That's a hard call to make when you're in the driver's seat. When I feel for him, honestly. I've been in the same situation, getting past last quarter. It's a horrible feeling, and it's you don't really know what to think. And he's obviously just thought I'm going to cover him on the low, but I've obviously ran there a lot more laps than him in the race, and I knew where the line was, and then it obviously just cost him a little bit.
Yeah, indeed it did. But, mate, it's so good to see two young guns going at it. Great drive tonight. Congratulations. And you being from Tasmania, mate, you're probably not familiar with the legend so much as what we are from Queensland of Shane Sollitt, but he would be rapt to watch you, and he always loved young talent too. And no doubt what you're doing here and what you're doing in the real racing world would be impressing the heck out of him as well. So congratulations on the win.
Yeah, thank you. Obviously, I got to take this time to shout out to the Sollitt family for actually putting up the race for all of us to do. Give us something to do, which is good. And obviously, thanks to MSL for hosting it and just everyone.
Yeah, appreciate it, mate. Congratulations, your winner tonight, Jock Goodyear. Great job as he just stole the win of Harry Stewart right on that final corner, and Bradley Oldfield grabbing the last place on the podium. Brett?
Wow, what an unbelievable night. And what a way to finish that off. Those sort of 10, 15 laps, Penny, Goodyear, Stewart, Oldfield, that finish coming to the checker. Goodyear just did what Goodyear does and just somehow, some way, makes it back to the front.
Yeah, phenomenal, hey. Absolutely phenomenal. Great job tonight, Brett, and thanks so much for hosting it and doing all the technical stuff. And to the whole Sollitt family, absolute pleasure and privilege to be a part of a night like this to honour a legend. And a guy that, you know, we throw the word legend around pretty commonly now, but the reality is, if it wasn't him over the last 20, 25 years who captured your race, particularly at Archerfield or Toowoomba or wherever it was, who was it going to be? And so good to have a guy like Jared Ash, who's coming along and doing such great things alongside Alan as well, and keeping the media alive up here in Queensland. But we dip the hat on this Anzac Day again to Shane Sollitt and the wonderful contribution that he's made to Speedway throughout Australia, particularly here in Queensland.
All right, that'll wrap us up. Of course, big thanks to Alan Sollitt and High Performance Videos as well, and everybody that made all this possible here on this Saturday evening. Benny, thank you very much for your time over the past couple of hours. As always, it's been a pleasure working with you, and we'll be back again next week at the virtual Eldora Speedway, so another virtual racetrack to tick off your bucket list.
Yeah, cannot wait for that. We'll go for the second round of the World E-Series Sprint Cars, thanks to Queensland Speedway Spares. No doubt, a lot of the names that we've seen tonight will be up the front again for that one. If you're watching it on Facebook, do not miss that, as that goes live next weekend.
All right, on behalf of the team here at Ultimate Dirt TV and the management behind the scenes, we say farewell and good night from the virtual Lanier National Raceway. Congratulations goes to Jock Goodyear, the winner of the second annual Shane Sollitt Memorial. Good night, everyone.